everyone, and welcome to round 5 of the Virtual Mini Challenge Season 2, live from the Sebring East Circuit. My name is John Munro, and alongside me is Bradley Vanian.
Hello!
So Bradley, we of course are in round 5 of this 6-round season. We've had very exciting rounds previous to this one, and how do you think this one's going to pan out?
Well, we have a real championship battle on our hands. There is 34 points separating Robert Wiesmuller and Chris Butcher, who are both teammates. However, Chris Butcher had a bit of an unfortunate event last time out at round 4 when his monitor cable came out. So that cost him about 27 points, which if he had got those points, it would have been a much closer battle. So it's Robert's just got to keep his cool, while others will be pushing for their lives, really.
Yep, and that's one of the main talking points for this event, because the championship is of course up for grabs, with only 60 points being available from each event, which means we have 120 points plus 4 for pole position remaining in the Drivers' Championship. So if Chris Butcher has a bad weekend today and Robert Wiesmuller takes 2 great results, we could be looking at a brand new TouringProSeries champion. The thing is that Chris Butcher and Robert Wiesmuller are the front two, and then you'd say, well, we can't count out third place Eric Strand, who's not far behind. He unfortunately is having some internet issues and will not be able to race tonight, so that's a real shame.
Yeah, it is a shame for him, as he did take his first ever TPS win a few rounds back, and as you said, we will probably be having a first-time TPS champion this series. Wiesmuller and Butcher, they have not won championships before at the TouringProSeries. So this event is round 5, and it is at the Sebring East layout. So that's the northern part of the Sebring circuit. There are 2 23-lap races with 10-minute qualifying sessions before each of them, and this is the penultimate round. So last in the next round, we have the race at Mid-Ohio, which features 2 17-lap races, and that is the same track where we saw the final round of last season.
And what a season it was. So let's take a look at the next events now, coming up in the TouringProSeries in the next couple of weeks. First, on Wednesday, we have round 5, I believe, round 4, sorry, of the virtual Tom Honzo Clio series, should I say, live from Poznan at 18:45 GMT, where Gary Lennon took a double win last season and will be hoping to repeat that this season. Also coming up soon is our next event, which is the Virtual V8 Supercar Championship 2013, where the battle between THR and Precision will continue.
Yeah, so that is at the first of the American rounds, which is Watkins Glen. That's one of the this is one of these endurance races, one of these long races instead of these sprint events, which we saw at Simmons Plains and Barbagallo. Last time at Adelaide, we saw it was sort of a mix between battling and also tyre wear, as we saw some drivers drop off, while we saw very close battling between Kilo and Toby Davis for that winning position. But now on to the main event for you currently, and that is round 5 of the Virtual Mini Challenge. So just in warm practice currently, about 10 minutes before qualifying. And we do have quite a few new drivers and team additions. The first of which is Michael Bell, who's been away from the TPS for a while. But he is back, and he is racing for his own team, Smile Power Racing. Is he on track? Let's see.
He's in 13th, I believe, at the moment, so he's actually doing very well. Yeah, that's good timing. So we've got Mike Bell. Sorry, I'll let you go on.
Yeah, he's done quite a bit of practice, and he is looking quite good for the event, along with one of his new teammates, Andreas Stengel, who's currently in 8th position.
Yeah, and looking at Andreas, he's in the default livery for this round, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll have that sorted out for the next round. He's been looking very quick, I have to say. I'm very impressed with Andreas. He showed great promise in the practice sessions we've seen previously, notching up a few 1-minute 15s, which only one driver is currently in this session. So he's definitely got the ability to break into those 15s, as do quite a few other drivers. So he's definitely a great new addition to the TouringProSeries.
Yeah, and that driver you're talking about is Robert Wiesmuller, the current championship leader, driving for THR Red. Only a slightly updated livery, still following the THR style, but there's a slight difference in colouring and a very slight difference in pattern, so you can see.
Yep,
yeah,
and he'll be hoping that's his championship winning livery, of course.
Yep, yes he will. It is possible for him to win the championship this weekend. but it is quite unlikely, as it does require very poor races from his teammate and championship rival Chris Butcher. However, Chris Butcher isn't currently on the server, so actually that unreality might become reality.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anything can happen, of course, in this championship. And although Chris Butcher's not on the server now, we are expecting him to show up soon. But we have been hearing he's not been able to put in quite as much practice this week, so maybe struggling a little bit. We're yet to see. So we will, of course, be keeping track and keep you all up to date on the championship situation. And we'll try our best to keep up with the positions and what the outcome will be, and hopefully we'll be able to spot it if Reese Muller does become champion this event, which, as you say, it's unlikely but not impossible.
Yeah, but something that is a bit more likely to happen is the Teams Championship finishing. THR Red, with Reese Muller and Butcher, have a very large advantage of 180 points currently with 2 rounds to go over the Ice Cold Racing team of Tommy Lee and Eric Tveit. Tommy Lee currently in second. Eric Tveit is not racing. Yeah. Oh yes, he is. Sorry. Yeah. So although it would require some magical performances from those two and some disastrous performances from Reese Muller and Butcher for them to still be in the title hunt for the final round. Some other new drivers we have is Kevin Brent, the American, is now racing for THR, just like he has done in the VBA test this season. And, well, he's not looking as quick as he could be in the V8 test, but he's still showing a good performance so far, with 16.3 currently in this practice session.
Yeah, they're completely different types of cars, of course. The Virtual V8 Supercar being a high-powered rear-wheel drive beast, you could call it, whereas these Clio's Minis are front-wheel drive and slightly less power and a bit more twitchy maybe. So yeah, Kevin Brent is definitely adapting well to game stock car, and he's currently in the top 10, which is impressive to see. He, of course, one of the main contenders in the Virtual V8 Supercars, coming close to some wins this season, so he'll be looking for a good result.
Yeah, I remember last season he only got pole at the Simmons round event just to completely miss the first corner and then losing tons of positions. There is an addition to the Airstream Motorsports lineup. Ryan Walker will be racing for them for this round and the next round, and I believe he's also with the team for the VVA test, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Ryan has raced the last 2 events of this series, and he's shown some very good pace, and he does seem to be up in his game as well for this round.
Yeah, it's good to see Ryan joining Aerostream because, of course, Matt and Ben Richards have been looking for drivers recently, so it's good to see they finally found one, and a very good one at that, as we just look through some of the other drivers taking part today.
We also have Nick Hughes, the brother to Jimmy Hughes, and he is racing for Aerostream Motorsports. No, it's Madcape Racing with Xavier da Carvalho and Kevin McDonald. He's racing in the second team for Madcape. And well, he hasn't shown too much pace, but he's definitely not too bad in these minis. He's definitely good, but I think with this class of field, he's going to really be struggling to get top 10s, maybe even top 15s.
Yeah, of course the quality of the drivers in this field is incredibly high, but Nick doing a good job there, not sitting too far back, but more towards the front of the grid actually. We have another thing to be discussed because it's not just the Drivers' Championship up for grabs today. The Teams' Championship is more likely actually to be decided today, with THR Red leading the championship.
I do remember mentioning this, and yeah, it is very likely for them to get it, not only this round, but actually in the first race this round. They should be able to get it done before the second qualifying session.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Only there's 180 points between the top 2 at the moment, so THR Red are really walking away with it.
And we've been joined by Chris Butcher. Chris, do you have a problem?
No, I just got in from work, and I thought I'd come and have a chat with you guys whilst I'm setting my gear up.
Okay, that's good. So, obviously you had a problem with your monitor last round out, which has now seen you quite a major gap now to your teammate and championship rival, Reese Muller. What do you think the possibilities are of you getting those points back up?
It's going to be extremely difficult. It's the gap that I need to claw back is more than a DNF, so I need him to DNF, and then I've got some more points to claim back as well, which is going to be really tricky, especially at this track, because I'm not that quick here, if I'm honest, and I'm ashamed to say even Mike Bell's quicker than me at the moment. But it's Yeah, I mean, last season I looked into 2 podiums because there's quite a lot of incidents, so that might be a little bit of something to hold on to. But yeah, Robert's looking like he's on fire at this track, so it's going to be tricky.
You think you'll be able to take a race win today?
Nah, I'm going to be lucky to get in the top 5, I think.
Well, although you may be struggling to get the drivers' championship, do you think you're happy with winning the team championship and not only winning it but at least dominating it?
Well, it's pretty much certain that we've done it, and I think we can even wrap it up at race 1 of this event. I think so. Yeah, absolutely thrilled with that good team effort, and for once, in THR we managed to get the driver lineup right for the for the strongest team anyway, which is which is good. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with that. Might have been a bit more of a challenge from Ice Cold if they'd got their lineup the right way around as well. But yeah, very happy with that.
Yep, so thank you for coming in and speaking to us. I wish you the best of luck for the event, and that is of course Chris Butcher, who is currently sitting second in the championship for THR Red.
Thanks very much.
So, well, why don't we do a lap on board Bradley of the Sebring East Circuit?
Well, we currently have our current top time in practice and our top time overall in practice, Robert Wiesmuller. He's just about to start his lap now, he's just going to the start-finish line. So you got this kink at the start of the lap, full throttle kink. Now you have this heavy braking zone, you want to use all the track on the left side, you don't want to hit the grass too much though. And then you just want to clip the curve there, get the car a bit loose, and again using as much of the track as possible. Then you have the pit exit on the right side, just a few little kinks, and again you've got to be very careful in this braking zone, as it is actually much easier than you would think to just run slightly too wide on that left side and just go straight off. You want to use quite a lot of the track on both of the exits of these left-handers, which Robert does. Then use this slight runoff area, and then you got this sort of, well, he's sort of full throttle right-handed, but you've got to be very careful. Oh, and he's backed off. Well, Ali Tommy needs right there for a point, so that's perfect timing there. And then you got the big bend here, which is a full throttle right-hander, although it is partly a straight and it leads to probably the best overtaking area on the track. This is a very technical circuit, and overtaking isn't that easy. So you got this braking zone, braking about 300 meters. Tom does. Turns in using curb on the inside, then you have this slight kink out of the corner, and again, and that's really a lap of the Sebring East Circuit.
Yeah, it's actually a fantastic circuit to drive. It's very challenging and technical, but there's also, as you were saying, a few really good overtaking spots. And one of those is, as you just saw, the hairpin. It doesn't really have a name; it's just the hairpin. But we will see a lot of undercut moves through there. I was doing some laps of the track yesterday, and just trying to get a grip with it. And it's so easy just braking that tiny bit too late for the hairpin. Okay, you're going to be able to make a move down the inside of someone, but it's so easy for the other driver to just cut back through the inside on the exit, and then of course they're going to have a better run and the inside line into the Fangio chicane. So yeah, it's definitely a interesting circuit. We're going to see a lot of passes and repasses here. I don't think we're going to see too many drivers, just sticking the very first move they make. I think they're going to have to fight really hard for it. And of course there are a few key corners on the track which you're going to lose time and gain time. One of which is I think it's Bishop Bend. On the right-hander, or I think that's on the wrong layout. I think it's actually Gurney Bend, which is a long left-hander, which we saw on the lap there before the back straight down towards the hairpin, and it's a very, very difficult corner to get slowed down correctly for, and it's not always consistent. You can do the same thing 2 laps in a row, the car will not react the same necessarily. You're going to see a lot of drivers running wide through there, especially on the exit, and as soon as you miss the apex for that corner, it's going to lose you a heck of a lot of time.
Yeah, I completely agree. So just watching Razvan, and he's just coming up to this corner in a second. Just after this corner. So what makes it actually quite hard is the fact that you've got this curbing on the inside, which you've got to be aggressive with. But if you be too aggressive, you'll just ruin your line into this left-hander. You've got to use all the track. You've got to get a very wide line, but you've also got to go as fast as possible through that little right kink before it as well.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, as I was saying, hitting the apex for the left-hander is probably more important, because the exit speed on that you carry all the way down the back stretch, and that's of course going to be a key overtaking manoeuvre. So that definitely is one of the most important places on the track that you're really going to need to get right. With only a minute to go now until qualifying, but I say this track will provide fantastic racing. We have proof of that if you watch last season's broadcast from the Sebring circuit, because we had an absolutely fantastic race event last season. As Chris was mentioning a little bit, we had fantastic battles and high attrition rate, a bit of controversy, and just generally fantastic racing. So we are going to see more of that tonight, we hope.
Yeah, we had Dweevelar and Levike fighting in the championship, although we don't have those two drivers in this season. So even though Wiesemann was also very quick that event, but he was also caught up in some incidents, so hopefully this time for him, he will be a bit more lucky and get 2 wins, which is obviously what he wants.
Yeah, and just a quick mention actually before we jump to quality. Looking at the top 5, you've got Andreas Stengel in 4th and Kevin Brents in 5th. So that's the 2 new drivers for Smile and THR respectively, both running in the top 5. So that's absolutely fantastic to see those 2 guys. And of course Andrew Waring in 6th, he joined mid-season as well. So we've got a lot of drivers making their mark on the championship that didn't necessarily start out there. So that's great to see. And also we probably should mention a bit more about Smile Power, because of course Stengel is teammates with Mike Bell and Chris Shepherd, and all 3 are looking competitive here today.
Yes, they are, and they could prove a fight to the Ice Cold Racing team. I don't think they'll be able to fight THR, but Ice Cold, yeah, it is a high possibility. So we just got all the drivers now leaving the track, or qualifying. Or I hope they are anyway.
Yeah, it should be in just a minute. There we go.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I had a slight problem. So, who's... Okay, so Kevin McDonald, oh no, I can't see who's the first on track, but, well, I think there is a few cars ahead of Kevin McDonald, but we've got Kevin McDonald anyway. Who's on track near the front?
We have 2 of the Smile cars out.
Oh my god, look at this. This is a massive group of cars.
Yep, and we saw an Aerostream car there. And of course Toby Davis
seems to be one of the first guys out.
It's going to be important to get in a banker lap here, of course, because the traffic's going to be a bit of an issue in the minis, and you're going to have drivers, not wanting to move out the way for the faster guys because they're still on a hot lap as well. So you need to really get these banker laps in.
Is that 2 teammates I see slipstreaming? Yes, it is. Those are the ADR drivers. That's Van der Venne and Van der Bell.
I'm not sure if that's ADR. It might be Precision.
No, it's ADR. Precision aren't even in. No, it's definitely. Wait.
It's hard to tell. They've got similar liveries now because we've had a bit of a change. But anyway, yeah, it is Precision.
Oh no, it is. Damn it.
So Andrew Waring, as you see now in 6th position, towing along his teammate Simon Pilov, and these 2 guys will look competitive all through the season, but not quite got that competitiveness, or they're not quite quick enough to win the championship. But they'll be back next season, of course.
Yeah, Waring's really improved since his first run at Norris Ring. He had a very poor qualifying pace, but he was much better in the race. Meanwhile, in the previous round, he only had some pretty good qualifying performances in the top 10. And see Kilo there going past. I think he was held up a bit there going into the corner, had to take a much tighter line. And you can see it's affected him there going through the left-hander. Got a pretty poor exit, and Andrew Waring is now on the back of him.
That's of course the advantages and disadvantages of slipstreaming on a lap, because you've got Andrew Waring had to let his teammate by there, because Simon obviously helped by his teammate on a good lap means that Andrew has to sacrifice his to let Simon pass. So those of course are the advantages and disadvantages of slipstreaming on a qualifying lap, and now the next lap Andrew Waring will have the slipstream from Kilov.
Although it's a technical circuit, the slipstream on that back straight and actually also going up the hill to the start finish line, it can definitely be a few tenths, and with such a close and competitive field on such a short track, 2 to 3 tenths can be such a huge amount, as we have the first few times. Tom Ely 16.1, Mike Bell 16.4, Xavier de Carvalho 16.5, Andreas Stengel currently purple, James Johnson 5th, Walker 6th, Carter up to what? David Carter 3rd, isn't he racing?
I'm not sure if there's a problem there, but David Carter, I'm sure he'd be delighted if he was up there. And as Auckland goes second on a very competitive time of 16.3.
That's his personal best as well, so that's a pretty good time to do a personal best. Wiesemann goes second, even though both him and Ely will want to go much quicker. I remember before the event, Auckland was actually telling me that he hated the circuit. He felt that it was a terrible circuit for him, and that he would be struggling to even get 16.5s, and then all of a sudden he was asking me how he got a 16.4, and now he's got a 16.3.
Yeah, I was talking to him earlier and he didn't have a clue when he set the 16.4 how he did that, and he didn't even know he had set it. But actually seeing David Carter's name up there in 7th will give him the glory, give him the benefit of the doubt, because of course he's probably not racing, but until we know for sure, let's just say it's David and you're doing a great job.
I'll just check that out. So Toby Davis hasn't had a very good lap so far, but someone who has had a good lap is Eric Tveit as he goes fastest in the session. Even though we do have Tom Ely finishing a lap and Wiesmuller also near the end of his lap.
Yeah, Wiesmuller on a very good lap.
Tom Ely doesn't improve. Oh, Wiesmuller's got a really good slifter in there from Ollie Moraes Mervold. Who's just going into the hairpin then. We also have Stengel on a good lap, and also Mataseski, who's currently in 16th position, and Toby Davis, and Simon Kilo, and Jimmy Hughes out of nowhere has got first position with a 16.116, even though I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah 59, as expected, although he can go about a 10 quicker than that.
Yeah, very good lap for Robert Wiesmuller, and that's just really a banker lap, so we know he's got more pace in him, so now it's guaranteed that he'll be reasonably near the front. So a very nice lap from our championship leader, Robert Wiesmuller, not cracking under the pressure so far.
Yeah, I think he might need to go faster, as we have seen Stengel do a 15, and I wouldn't be surprised if some drivers can actually, just improve their game in quali, like we usually see in these minis, and get a 15.9 when usually their personal best might only be a 16.0.
Yep, it's good when we do see that, but actually look at Eric Tveit at the moment. He's following the precision cars, he's maybe getting a little bit of a toll, but more importantly he's following the lines of the guys in front, so that could be a helping hand.
Tom Ely's currently purple after 2 sectors, but I think Wiesmuller had a pretty good final sector. Yes, he did. Tom Ely second, but that's half a tenth down. Down on Wiesmuller.
And Stengel's on a very good lap as well. He's purple at the moment, and he's showing great promise in his first race in the Virtual Mini Challenge.
Yeah, meanwhile we have Chris Butcher up to 6. So Chris Butcher, who's only just been able to get set up for the race, got up to 6 so far with his first lap in the session, or I think it's his first lap.
Oh, was that Eric Tveit? Yeah.
And Tom Ely has only improved by 600ths of a second, which is the amount he needs to improve by if he's going to get provisional pole.
Yeah, let's wait and see, because of course Robert Wiesmuller had the toe on the back stretch from Ollie Moraes Mervold, and we saw last season actually that the toe made the difference between pole position and fourth place in the grid. Just having that toe down the back stretch gained a tenth or even more, and that can be a massive difference in such a competitive grid.
Yes, it can.
He's lost time there.
I don't understand what Carter was doing there, but he's not in the server anymore. So just ignore that. Tom Ely goes into the final corner. Oh, he seems to be struggling now, but he might be able to get a good lap in next time. Wiesmuller is also improving on his lap, so he might be able to get a 0.8.
Yeah,
he finishes the lap, but no.
The fact that Tom Ely was actually so far up in the first sector and then lost it, but lost way over a tenth in the middle sector, just shows how good the second half of Robert Wiesmuller's lap is, because even he's improving on his first sector, and that just goes to show how well he must have nailed that second sector, and obviously having the slipstream in the last sector is going to make the difference as well. And you see there's, again, Robert Wiesmuller's lost over a tenth on his own time in the middle sector, so that's just really is showing how good his lap was.
Yeah, although Tom Ely is actually currently a 10th up, and Wiesmuller isn't improving on this lap. So if Tom Ely can just nail that second sector, maybe even get a slipstream in both the second and third sectors, he could then get up to a 9.
Yep, so I will watch Robert come across the line. He doesn't improve, so let's jump to Tom Ely now, heading into the final sector of the lap. And he's not purple anymore, so he's lost a little bit of time there in the middle sector. He's only down by 700. So if he can nail this final chicane, hairpin, sorry, because this is the only corner in the sector, we could be looking at a faster time than Robert Wiesmuller's 15.9. Either gets it turned in nicely, can he get the power down early enough?
We're not sure.
That's okay, and he's coming around the final turn now, going to cross the line, which you can't really see, but is definitely around here somewhere. So will Tom Ely knock Robert Wiesmuller off the top? No, he doesn't. He's lost quite a bit of time there in the final sector. Not maybe the draft making a big difference.
Stengel in the final corner, he's taken a very tight line, and there it is. He runs much too wide, and he aborts his lap. Eric Tveit also finishing a lap. He is improving. But he could move up into the top 3 ahead of Jimmy Hughes.
He's gone purple in the first sector by over a tenth.
Wow. Well, just get on to him. Mike Bell can't improve. Toby Davis improving, but where's...
There's Mike Bell for Smile Power.
Is he still purple?
Let's see as he comes across the second sector now. He's 2 tenths off, so this could still
Oh.
jump him up many positions.
Yeah,
So he's definitely going to continue
he could
this
get in
lap.
up into the top 10, although obviously his final sector will probably be worse than Wiesmuller, so he might also struggle to even get into the top 15. We'll see though. I don't believe he's actually improved on his lap time though.
Yep, Bell making his mark on his return to Touring Pro Series, coming across the line. And how big will that mark be? He's going to cross the line. Where is he going to put himself provisionally? And he doesn't improve. He's lost a lot of time in that final sector.
So we don't actually have anyone near the, well, no one in the top 8 who's improving, although Toby Davis has just moved himself up into the top 8.
Yeah, he's definitely improved throughout the season. He was struggling at the start of the season with the cars. He just generally didn't like the feel of them and wasn't going very quick. As Jimmy Hughes is over a 10th up, but he's abandoned that lap.
I think it's probably the reason why he went wide. I'm guessing he just braked too late. Might have happened. Yeah, that's one thing about the sector point for turn 1. It's only near a sector point. So, you know, you may end up braking too late and actually having a pretty good first sector. Toby Davis and Tom Ely both doing good lap times.
It's just showing that Wiesmuller's first sector wasn't very good, and if Wiesmuller had nailed the first sector, that would have been an incredible lap time, but of course he didn't, and it's just yet to see whether the other drivers can match him in the second or third. And we're seeing a bit of a repeat of last year, with Wiesmuller getting the toe down the back stretch, meaning his time is uncatchable at the moment.
Yeah, so Tom Ely, he's lost a bit of time. Where's Toby Davis? He's improving his lap time. He could move himself up into the top 3. He's not that far away from Hughes, who's... Whoa, Van der Velde has moved up into 50... Oh, sorry, not 55th, but 5th position. Wiesmuller 2 tenths up in his best. And I've got to say, that is an amazing performance there from Jimmy Hughes to be in 3rd position so far. Will it last though? No. He's down to 4th, but still, 4th is just as good.
That's incredible. Jimmy Hughes, he's really shot the fox here. Walk racing driver. He's putting on a fantastic performance so far in this qualifying session. And we're seeing a lot of surprising names up there. Stengel, of course, in his debut in 5th, and Van der Velde in 6th. As Wiesmuller's actually almost a 10th up through the second sector, which means he has got that lap together, and if he can nail this final hairpin, he's not got as big an advantage from the draft, so it might not be quicker, but let's wait and see. As Wiesmuller rounds the final turn now, he comes across the curbs, he's got a nice exit from there, and he's heading towards the line. Of course, this will be his last attempt, because the timer has run out. Will he beat the 15.974? He crosses the line now, and he does improve. He does, improves by half a tenth. So.
And look how close it is from 4th to 11th. There's less than a tenth separating 4th to 11th. You have Hughes, Stengel, Van der Velde, Tveit, Butcher, Orkerklint in 9th position, so that's quite good for him, following his good performances from last time out at Cascavel. And Matuszewski 10th and Shepard 11th. That's I mean 1/10, just 1/10 makes such a big difference in such a competitive field. Tom Ely, well, Tom Ely just can't seem to match Wiesmuller in that final sector and also in the middle sector. He's aborted his lap.
As has Toby Davis. So this is the final lap for any drivers. So any drivers you see now in the pit lane or not on a hot lap, that is it for them. They've finished their qualifying session. Butcher seems to be pushing hard. Of course, his limited practice won't help too much, and he is 3 tenths down.
He's 3 tenths down, so unless he does a magical final sector, nothing's going to come of that. Orkerklint's finishing his lap, but I don't think he's going to improve. Let's see though. Just coming up to the line. No, he's not going to improve.
Yeah, and we're actually one team will be very disappointed with their qualifying session is Precision Motorsports, with Simon Kielov down in 15th and Andrew Waring all the way down in 20th. So a repeat of his bad
although Luis Fernandez is improving by 3 tenths of a second. This could pull him up into the top 5. Oh, I think he started his lap after the that's a bit unfortunate there, but it happens.
So we have our qualifying grid for race 1 at Sebring, and the man who leads the championship is dealing with the pressure well. He's dominated that qualifying session, and he will be starting from the front.
So we'll be back in a few moments. We'll just play a couple of videos.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And as the video said, definitely tune in on Wednesday for the Poznan round of the Tom Cole Clio series. But of course, here and now we are here at the Virtual Mini Challenge Season 2, Round 5 from Sebring. And we've had a fantastic qualifying session, which we've just finished with Robert Riesenmuller, Championship leader, heading the grid on pole position, but we'll bring you into more detail on the actual starting order when we get into the formation lap, so which gives us a chance. One thing I should mention, at the start of qualifying we saw the name David Carter pop up into the top 5, and we were all very surprised and happy, but it was actually just a mistake by David. So it was actually Kevin Brents that was setting those times, but it was showing up as David Carter's name. Nothing to do with Kevin, so it's not his fault at all, but David will just be wishing he was following Robert Riesenmuller instead, because then we would have seen David Carter provisional pole position. But anyway.
Yeah, just to let everyone know, we'll be going through the grid. That's all 32 drivers. Sorry, yeah, 31. Sorry, yeah, that's all 31 drivers. We'll be going through the grid on the formation lap. There is a formation lap before both races, which the drivers have to calculate into their fuel calculations. And it is quite easy just to make a mistake, especially with a formation lap. It's a bit harder to judge exactly how much fuel you'll be using on a formation lap, and in these cars where you're going so quick and pushing so much, you don't want to have too much extra fuel.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to make a difference. The minis don't actually make as much difference as some other cars in terms of extra fuel, but still, it's definitely going to make a difference. And of course, some races come down to hundreds and thousands of seconds, and having that extra couple of laps of fuel could be the defining factor. Just like to mention 3 people who I was very impressed with in that qualifying session were 4th, 5th, and 6th. Nick Hughes, Andreas. I think it was Andreas Sengel in 5th. I think he was.
And it was Van der Velde as well.
Yeah, that's the 3 drivers I'm very impressed with their qualifying.
And just a note, as Riesenmuller got pole position, that means that he got an extra point for it. So he is now 35 points ahead of his rival Chris Butcher. So that's even more work for Butcher to do, but as you heard earlier, Butcher doesn't think he can win these races, and he says he might even struggle to get top 5s.
Yep, so we're all, obviously all that's to come. So it's actually mathematically impossible for Riesenmuller to wrap up the championship after this first race, but of course it might still be possible after race 2. We're yet to find out. In regards to the team championships, the standings, I think they now lead by 181 points over Ice Cold, and we have 232 points still up for grabs, or 231 after that qualifying session, so that could definitely be sealed up pretty soon.
Well, we have all the drivers now going up to the grid. We have about 20 seconds to go until the lights will go out for the formation lap. So all the drivers will have to be trying to warm up their tyres and brakes, but not, they aren't allowed to burn out or anything. Andy, and something which I've noticed is the starting grid. I think that it actually favours the car on the right side of the grid, which is Tom Ely in 2nd place, as the turn 1, as in this is sort of unofficially turn 1. But the actual first heavy braking zone is this turn right, which will obviously favour the car on the inside the corner, which should be Tom Ely. So Tom can get a good run from his starting position. He could very easily do well. So let's just go through the grid, John. Do you want to do that?
Yep. So just very quickly, we've got Robert Riesenmuller and Tom Ely on the front row. So there we have the 2 manufacturer or team standing leaders, 1st and 2nd. Toby Davis in 3rd for THR Orange, ahead of Jimmy Hughes, a fantastic 4th. New boy Andreas Stengel for Smile in 5th, ahead of Andy van der Velde, fantastic performance, in 6th. Eric de Veit will be starting 7th, alongside Chris Butcher in 8th. Jonathan Ockerclinth is 9th for Optimum Sim Racing, and Thomas Matizowski 10th for THR. Chris Shepherd will be starting 11th for Smile Power, and Kevin Brents, another new driver in THR, starting 12th. Xavier De Carvalho will be starting 13th, and Ethan Bass in 14th. Simon Kielov, a disappointing 15th, ahead of van der Velde's teammate Davy van der Venne in 16th. James Johnson is 17th for THR Green, ahead of returning Mike Bell. Louis Fernandez in 19th, and Andrew Ware, the 2nd precision driver, is starting 20th. Ryan Walker, recently signed for Airstream, will be starting 21st, ahead of Rico Arnold. And Ray Lilly will be starting 23rd, and Razvan is 24th. Lukas Demlin,
off the track.
yeah, for not the first time this season, I believe. Lukas Demlin is 25th on the grid, ahead of David Junt, who had a great run last time out. Kevin McDonald will be starting 27th, ahead of 2nd Airstream driver Matt Richards. Nick Hughes will be starting 29th. Scott Sovic down in 30th for Optimum Sim Racing, and rounding out the field, Ole Marius Muravold. So one thing I have noticed is no Ben Richards today.
Yeah, he's not racing today. And actually, Matt Richards, his brother, is actually using Ben Richards' wheel. We got the grid lined up then, just got the final few cars lining up. Lights should be coming on soon, and all the cars will then go into the first 2 turns.
Can anyone stop Robert Wiesenmuller? We're about to find out as the cars round out the field, and they will be forming the grid. The back of the field will be forming up now. And we go green here at Sebring race 1. It's a good start for Wiesenmuller. He has got the jump on Tom Ely at the moment. And I believe that's Toby Davis slots into 3rd. We've got, is that Jimmy Hughes looking down the inside for Walk Racing? He's going to be going for a high position as they head through turn 1.
Toby Davis on the inside, and he's got the inside. Bit of contact with Wiesenmuller, holds the 1st position. Toby Davis fighting for 3rd. And Hughes
massive
is actually
dazzle
now
of
in
cars.
3rd. Spite has moved up to 5th, Stengel 6th, and Butcher is 7th. So another heavy braking zone. Wiesenmuller keeps the lead, and Hughes settles into 3rd position, and Stengel's also looking very aggressive behind his fight, and he's going down the inside in contact with Hughes.
No.
He's hit Hughes.
Oh, that's not good. Unfortunate for Andreas Stengel. He's cost Hughes position, so he may be penalised after the race. But let's concentrate on the race at the moment. We've seen no crazy accident. As just as I say that.
Out. That was from 9th position. I think that's actually a bit of a. I think that's sort of as a conclusion from the incident with Hughes and Stengel. It's just got too many drivers involved, different speeds, and in the end, all took too much curb there and just ran onto the grass.
We're having almost tandem racing with 2 lines of packs as they go 4 wide into turn. That's never going to work.
Sorry,
and battle for the lead. Stengel's gone off.
Yeah, sorry, but Ely has just taken the lead into the hairpin. I think there was a bit of contact. Gonna try and watch that in replay. So Wiesenmuller had the inside, and Ely just went straight around the outside.
Yeah, good move by Ely, and he closed the door nicely, and Robert Wiesenmuller got sideways on the exit where he couldn't get the power down.
I'm going to try and see what happened with Stengel. So was there contact with another driver? So Stengel's on the outside here, and he gets hit by someone. He gets hit by, I think, who was that? Was that? Contact. Okay, Eric Tveit has hit, contact between Toby Davis, Stengel, and Tveit, which has caused the incident. Back up front, though.
Yep, Robert Wiesenmuller.
And Ely's looking to end Wiesenmuller's dominance here.
Yeah, I don't think we have seen Tom Ely win a race this season. He's been competitive, but he's had the worst of luck. Unfortunately, we've had disconnections from the lead and etc. crashing in formation laps.
Big contact there with Stengel and Butcher. Stengel's being very aggressive in these early stages. Contact with Hughes. He got hit by Tveit, and how very, very close action between him and Chris Butcher.
Yeah, he's having an action-packed start.
Yeah, just further back, and I've seen James Johnson's had a very good start to 11th. Kilo up to 10th. Waring up to 13th. Ethan Bass up to 16th. And Matuszewski is off the track. There at the hairpin. I'm guessing he was hit from behind, but either way, it's cost him a lot of positions. Just looking further back, Louis Fernandez has dropped out. He's in 21st position, so that's disappointing for him. Scott Sovik's now last with David Junt and Jonathan Aukerclin with him as well.
Yeah, so a reasonably clean start, but we did see a few incidents. But now back to the front of the grid, and we have Tom Ely and Robert Wiesenmuller over a second ahead of Toby Davis in a breakaway duo at the minute, with Toby Davis, as we were saying, in 3rd position, Andreas Stengel making his mark in 4th, Chris Butcher up to 5th, so his top 5 is coming alive at the moment. Eric Tveit in 6th position. Andy van der Velde's made a okay start. He's lost a few positions, but he won't be too disappointed sitting in 7th, and Jimmy Hughes is down to 8th after early on contact.
Yeah, so Shepard there, the highest placed Smart Power racing car, the 2nd highest placed. Look about Stengel there in 4th, Shepard's 9th, Kilo there, looking very good there in 10th with his teammate in 11th, but about 2 seconds behind. So, we aren't seeing any moves anymore. We saw tons of moves in the first 2 laps, and now it's just not happening anymore.
Yep, I don't think it'll take too long to kick off.
Stengel braked way too late. He took a very tight apex as well and just ran wide. But as there's that slight kink, it doesn't cost him that much as he actually runs across the grass. Although I think he might have actually gained a slight advantage from that. He's looking very close to Toby Davis, only about 5-6 tenths behind him. Oh, and that's Jimmy Hughes and Chris Shepard fighting over 8th place. That's Shepard going around the outside of Hughes, and he keeps the position. No, sorry, he's actually gained the position there. And Kilo's also looking very feisty in behind.
Yep, ducking and diving.
He's on the grass, he's on the curb.
Oh, there's going to be contact, and oh no, Kilov has hit the smile cart, and he's going to have to let him back through, and that got a bit messy there. Kilov seemed to miss his braking point a little bit, and hit the side of the smile power car of Chris Shepard, so that's a shame for him, and he lets the position back.
Yeah, he's now behind Shepard. So Hughes is up to 8th now, so he's getting slowly back to where he should be. Although he really should be in that battle for 3rd position with Toby Davis.
Yeah, so yeah, reasonably.
Whoa! And look at the amount of cars that are running wide out of that left-hander. Like every single lap, I've seen multiple cars running very far wide at the left-hander. So I think drivers are going to be much. Ooh, very close there with Ethan Bass and Van der Bene. So yeah, drivers have got to be very careful that they don't go too far wide and gain an advantage, as they will be penalised as Kevin Brent run wide and Wiesmuller has the fastest lap of the race with a 16.0. So he, even though he may have got the fastest lap, is he ahead of Tom Ely? No, he isn't. Even though he has closed the gap slightly. Toby Davis is dropping behind, as is the rest of the pack.
As you were saying there, with the cars running wide out of the left-hander, what it is the drivers trying to hit a late apex, or an early apex should I say, and just trying to get the power down as early as possible out of that corner, because it makes such a big difference getting the run down the backstretch. And if drivers aren't on the power early enough there, they're going to be vulnerable to an overtake, and if someone's on the inside of you there, you've got no chance of holding that position, and you're going to lose a lot of time. So drivers really pushing to get a good exit.
Matthias down the inside of Kilo. Kilo went a bit wide at the previous corner. Matthias looked for the move, but it just wasn't to be. Kilo was very stern around the outside.
Yep, so good battling going on down here.
Yeah, it's very good battling. Hughes went down to 9th after more fighting there, going into the first heavy braking zone of the lap, just like it did the previous lap. Further up, Wiesmuller doesn't seem to be gaining as much ground anymore on Tom Ely. Stengel and Butcher there for 4th position, so Butcher is now side by side with Stengel and has taken the position. Or has he? Because Stengel's still almost side by side, got a slight overlap.
Well, they're heading in to the start of the lap as Chris Butcher sets fastest lap. Will he retain the position? He does.
Yeah, this isn't really what Chris Butcher wants. He does not want to be involved in battling for, you know, for anything other than the winning position. He needs to be beating Wiesmuller if he's going to be winning the championship. Oh, Stengel doing the inside. Slight contact with Tveit, and that's a clean move there from Stengel. And he only gets well, he got a poor run, which has allowed Butcher back through, has it? Yes, it has. Again, another clean move. Tveit looking very, very dangerous there. Not as in dangerous driving, just actually very sort of dangerous racing, as in close. And Stengel now going down the inside, so a lot of movement. I remember you saying earlier that it wouldn't be more just a person making one move and then getting away. You'd see loads of undercuts, and that's like what we just saw. Butcher now going for the slipstream.
Yep, exactly, and that's showing why that's happening. As you can see, the drivers who are gaining the advantage on the entry are losing it on the exit. As Tveit goes down the inside of Butcher now, the ice cold driver, he's setting the he's taking the target right in the back of THR Red, and he's going to try and make the move. And these are, of course, the two teams that are on top of the team standings at the moment. And we've got Tom Ely beating Robert Wiesmuller out front, and we've got Eric Tveit trying to beat Chris Butcher for 5th position. So it's going well for Ice Cold so far.
I've also noticed that the fact that Wiesmuller and Easley sort of closed up a bit was that it allowed Toby Davis to close into about a second. He was actually about a second and a half behind, so he gained quite a bit of time just in one lap. Butcher's 5th, but this is it again. This is not what he wants. He does not need to be getting in battles. He does not need to be fighting, you know, maybe even getting penalties, getting hit off. He does not need this. And look at that, he's inconsistent now because of this, and he's run off the track and just cost a few tenths of a second there.
Yeah, we're already on lap 7, so this race really is flying by, and as you can see, Andy van der Velde actually hanging in there with Tveit and Butcher, and of course Stengel, who is being held up by the hounding cars behind him, who are of course aggressive and trying to make an overtake. So Stengel will be looking in his mirrors, and it's allowing Toby Davis to break away from that pack and really break into those top two guys, Tom Ely and Robert Wiesmuller.
He's having to defend on the inside. He cuts back to try and give Wiesmuller not much space, and Wiesmuller doesn't go around the outside like
will
he
it be a
did on the opening
cutback?
lap.
Will there be a cutback, as we were saying earlier? And Wiesmuller is down the inside of Tom Ely now, so it's THR Red versus Ice Cold once again as they head onto the start of the 8th lap. Will this be the moment where Wiesmuller retakes the advantage from Tom Ely? Toby Davis has been allowed to get right into this battle, so Wiesmuller helping his teammate out a bit there. He looks to the inside, but he's not going to have enough space to make the move there. And now Davis is right on the back of Wiesmuller, but I'm sure he won't do anything stupid because these two are, of course, teammates.
Yeah, Toby Davis is one of the owners of THR. He wants his team to be winning the team championship, so getting involved in a battle and harming the team and also Wiesmuller's Drivers' Championship campaign is not what you want to be doing, Toby.
I don't think he is. I think he's doing a good job at the moment. He's just hanging in there in third and staying with these two guys, waiting for them to their mistakes to be
big
made. And look at
contact.
this. A great gaggle of cars there. That's Eric to Vite, Chris Butcher, Stengel, who's lost out a bit there, and Van der Velde.
Oh,
Van der Velde's off! He's
yeah,
got
he's
two
lost
wheels on
out
the
even more
grass.
than Stengel now. Ali, is he gonna keep the position? No, he's gonna drop down to 8th, which isn't too bad. There's quite a big gap down to Jimmy Hughes, and Ali, he's on his own. Kilos can't gain anything else than 10th, and we've all got this very large train here behind.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so
but
Smile Power are actually having a good race so far, sitting 5th position and 7th. So Mike Bell will be happy with how his teammates are performing at the moment.
Oh, hello. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my mic cut out there. But yeah, Robert Wiesenmuller really is pressing on the back of Tom Ely at the moment, and this is of course for a race win, so this is really the position that matters the most. And Robert Wiesenmuller will not let go of his teammate, not his teammate, sorry, Tom Ely, quite opposite from teammate in this series. Tom Ely's fastest lap, I think, in this race has been a 1:16.1, unless that was his last lap, I'm not quite sure.
Oh, and that's someone has gone off. That's Matuszewski? What's happened here?
I'm not sure if it is Matuszewski. I think, maybe
There
it
it
is
is, that's
Matuszewski.
Matuszewski.
Oh!
Big crash! Who's that with? Is that Van der Venne or Van der Velde? Wait, sorry, let's check on the window.
Van der Venne.
It's Van der Venne. So under Matuszewski's at the back. He was trying to go to the inside. He just, the faintest of touches. He only just misjudged it, but he's gone into the wall along with Van der Venne. And he's out of the race. Is Van der Venne? Oh, there he is. That's a real shame for both of them. So Scott Sovic and Kevin McDonald fighting for 28. Razvan, Orkaclin, Merville. So Orkaclin, who qualified 9th, dropped right down to the back and is now trying to get his way back up, as is Junt. Got a free car battle here with Fernandez, McDonald. That's Carvalho and Lilly. Hughes, Arnold, Richards, Mike Bell, 16th, Walker 15th. Got two teammates there fighting. But yeah, we need to get back up.
Yeah, because we've got fantastic battles going on all the way through the field, it looks like. And that incident actually with Matuszewski and Van der Venne, we saw the similar incidents last season with cars, if they just tap the back of them under braking, you can push them round with your finger, and that's what we saw there, the two cars just going off onto the grass,
Yeah,
and they were
it was
unsavable.
It was a very slight bit of contact and very unfortunate for both of them. Matuszewski just slightly, by the tiniest amount, misjudged it, but he did hit him, and, well, it doesn't matter how you hit him.
Yeah,
They're both out of the race, and that's what we're going to be thinking of.
Actually, I've been noticing Andreas Stengel he's been rapid but raggy, I think is the best way of describing his race so far. He's been pushing hard at the good positions, but he's been a bit all over the place. He's been off the track a few times. He's had quite a bit of contact. As Wiesenmuller looks right on the back of Tom Ely. So let's focus on this battle right now. We're almost halfway into this race, and we've got a very interesting battle of wits going on between two THR cars and the ice cold driver Tom Ely. And now Robert Wiesenmuller's got the cutback and he's down the inside. These guys are going to go side by side, and can Toby Davis take advantage of this by taking second? Let's wait and see as they head on to the start of lap 11. It's going to be Wiesenmuller on the inside, Ely on the outside, and Davis following Wiesenmuller. They put on the brakes. It's the last of the late breakers. Wiesenmuller does make the move, and now Tom Ely's under real pressure from Toby Davis.
Yeah, this is looking very similar to what we had the other lap. And Ely's going to make the move back, is he? Yes, he is. He's on the inside, and as you said, it is just undercuts and undercuts and undercuts.
Oh,
contact! Toby Davis is going to take second. No, I think he's going to back out. He's going to back out.
Or
No,
go for
he's
the
going
lead.
to keep second. He's going to try and fight Ely for himself, it seems. Or is he going to give Wiesenmuller a tow and then let him past?
It's not going to matter too much at the moment, because of course these guys are battling hard, and because they're so close together, there's no really breakaways within the front top three, so they'll let that sort themselves out later on.
On there on Butcher, and it hasn't worked at all. He, oh, actually it has. He took a very early apex, surprised Butcher, and he's got the position. But I wouldn't be surprised if Butcher makes a move now into the final corner.
Yep, Butcher of course slow into the corner, letting Stengel pass, which means he's fast in the exit. Oh, cutting across there. Is there going to be contact under braking? There is, and this is what we were talking about. The back of his car's been touched, and he's just gone really loose, and he's off the track, so Butcher might have to give that position back, but he rejoins in front anyway.
Twice went off the track as well. Well, Stengel's ahead of Butcher, and that was twice off. So Twice was hit by Stengel, who was hit contact with Butcher.
Yes, we've got a domino effect going on here.
Well, oh, sorry, that's off replay. Oh, yeah. So Stengel moved quite a bit under braking, so he moves, and then he moves again, well, it's an unfortunate incident, and yeah, very aggressive defending. But either way, no, that was the past. This is the present, and Chris Butcher's 7th, Stengel's 6th, and Shepherd has come from absolutely nowhere to take 5th.
Yeah, that's racing for you. I think Stengel, okay, he defended aggressively, and Chris Butcher, of course, really didn't have many places to go under braking. So, of course, by defending aggressively, sometimes it's going to pay off. But unfortunately, that time, Butcher just didn't quite brake at the same time and hit the back of him, and that's the result. Unfortunately, Eric DeVite getting involved as well. But look at this, we've got almost 3 wide going on for the race lead, and Tom Ely is under pressure because Toby Davis is down the inside, and we're going to see so many cutbacks. As I was saying at the start of the broadcast, we're just seeing cutback after cutback. We've got drivers on the outside on the entry, then cutting back to the inside on the exit, taking the position, and Davis has gone from pushing for the lead because he was on that inside line. He's lost it all, and he's down to 3rd. But of course, there's a long way to go yet.
We're now in the second half of the race, so you do not want to be getting too close to your teammate there, Toby. So now Beatsman's back in 2nd, and I think he will be the one wanting to do the pushing. He wants to be the one taking the lead. He doesn't want Toby to be taking the lead, and then for him to have to push his way against 2 cars later in the race when it's much more aggressive because they're about to finish the race.
Yeah, we've got only 10 laps to go, so it's flown by so far. But yeah, these 3 guys, they're so similarly paced. Okay, maybe Robert Wiesenmüller has a higher ultimate pace in qualifying, but when it comes down to the race, you're seeing all these 3 guys, especially with the benefit of the slipstream, are so similarly paced that we're just seeing an absolutely incredible battle between 3 cars and 3 hungry drivers that are all looking for that race win. And any one of these 3 can win this race, and any one of these 3 could be involved in an incident. Anything can still happen, and you never know. Eric DeVite could be the one who ends up winning this race.
Yes, it is very possible. Last time out, season 1, we saw an incident on the final lap, I believe, between Drivlar and Wiesenmüller, which was rather important for the championship battle, and it cost Levike heavily, as instead of finishing in the top 2, he finished 19th. So he barely got any points in that race. Wiesenmüller going down the inside into the first turn. No,
is he going to make it stick?
Keep it around the inside. No,
yeah,
that's a
Wiesenmüller's
great
got
move
it
there from Wiesenmüller, and Toby Davis might even take 2nd. Wiesenmüller blocking Ely now. Davis going to go look for the inside, or is Ely going to sneak it? No, he can't, because Davis is there. So that is perfect team play there from THR, as Davis barges his way past.
Leaning on each other. Margin. Yeah, this is what teamwork's all about, of course. They're helping each other to get the best positions possible for the team, and they're just proving why they're such a strong team at the minute.
And Wiesenmüller's pulled away. That's it. Wiesenmüller's pulled away, and that's pretty. I think that's it for him. Race win. Edie's going to end up too far behind now to do anything about it. Davis is going to do his best to hold up Ely, and then by the time Ely does get away, if he does, it's going to be too much of a gap to crawl back up and then fight with and then take the lead again.
Yeah, I think it's a major factor that the fact that Wiesenmüller is the one who's out front, and it's Davis defending from Ely, because of course Davis, nowhere in this championship, will be helping Wiesenmüller, so he won't necessarily be pushing to catch Wiesenmüller. He'll be helping to increase the gap and trying to stop Tom Ely from winning this race. So yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, just looking further back, we haven't really looked sort of in the midfield and the back much this race, but with such heavy battling, not only for top 3 but also from 4th to 8th, it's hard to look elsewhere. So Mike Bell's has gained a position. I think that's Ryan Walker that he's gained a position from. Then we got the close battle here between Richards, De Carvalho, Nick Hughes, Lucas de Molin, and we also have Lilly and Junt just behind.
Yep, and Jonathan Ockercliffe making up ground from his early problems on the first lap. So we've got some good battles going on throughout the field. As you see now, that's De Carvalho having a look at Matt Richards, and there's almost contact behind with Demolin and Nick Hughes, it looks like.
Yeah, that's Nick Hughes there in the sort of default car, although he is racing for Mad Cave, so he is actually teammates to Xavier De Carvalho. Yep,
so the cars look different, but they're still teammates, and they're still going to be pushing hard for they're having a good race, the two of them, so it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top between those two. As you're seeing some walk racing, although Carvalho drifting it. You'll be glad we caught that one, because that was a lovely drift.
I didn't know it was possible to drift in a front-wheel drive
car. That was Kevin McDonald, sorry, giving all the credit to Carvalho.
I didn't know it was possible to drift in a front-wheel drive car.
And Sovik's through. It looks like, oh no, Sovik's almost through. So this is the battle for the wooden spoon, because Fernandez is out.
The race for some reason.
Yep, and as you were saying, Wiesenmüller's just pulled away at the moment.
Yes, he has, and look at the gap now between Wiesenmüller and Tom Ely, 1.2 seconds. And I think if I think it's a big if currently now. If Ely can get back into second, he's going to be too far behind. He might be over a second and a half behind, and with well, currently only 7 laps to go, it's just going to be too much of an order for him to push, get that time back, and then actually fight for the win. As catching is a lot more different to overtaking as well.
Yeah, it's worth one of these guys taking a risky move down the inside because they've got 7 seconds back to this massive battle going on here for 4th position. Oh no!
Shepard spun on the, I think it's just on the edge of the curb. And I think he just clipped the grass. It's quite aggressive fighting, and he just lost on the curb. Yes, he has. I think he's actually just, or has he? Is that gearing actually? It
Very
looks
unusual.
so sudden. No, it's just curving. That is a very weird spin. I would not have expected that at all, and it's now cost him a top 5. He's down to 9. Hughes up to 8. Van der Velde's 7th, and he might even do better as he goes down the inside of Dwight. No, but all 3 of them have run wide, and now will he get 6th? No.
Yeah, there may have been a bit of contact with Shepard, but it was difficult to tell, or as you say, a strange incident. He seemed to lose the back end far too quickly. It definitely didn't look like driver error to me. But anyway, we digress, and Chris Butcher is fighting for 4th.
This is a few harsh
Oh, contact! More
I
contact
wouldn't be
between
surprised
Butcher and
if there's a few-
Stengel.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few harsh words after the race from some of these drivers, and that just proved it. They were just contra there on the straight into a braking zone, and they ended up running wide.
Yep, Stengel and Butcher definitely making themselves known to each other in Stengel's debut here. They've been involved in the battle throughout the entire race, and I'm not sure if they're going to be calling it fun or a bit too offensive and risky, but let's wait and see. As Chris Butcher still leans on the side of Stengel, so he's going to try and see if he can get a cutback move into the left-hander, because if you go down the inside here, you're going to have a bad exit, and you're going to lose time.
Oh, Van der Velde? Oh, sorry. I've also noticed that Toby Davis and Tom Ely have caught back up to Wiesmuller. Wiesmuller did a 16.3 on the last lap, which is not the best of laps, but I think Toby Davis and Tom Ely would have gained a bit more time from slipstreaming, unlike Wiesmuller, who's at the front of the pack. Dwight on the outside, Stengel cutting across him. Oh, that is terrible driving, and Dwight slipped over.
Oh my
Dwight
goodness.
absolutely flipped it over, and he's out of this race.
Let's take a replay of that. That's pretty, pretty exciting, you could say.
Well, I don't understand what Stengel was doing here. He cuts across Butcher. Butcher goes into Dwight. Dwight ends up flipping over his car. That is absolutely disastrous there, and terrible driving there from Stengel.
Well, I think to be fair to Stengel, he was looking at a 2-wide battle between him and Chris Butcher, and Eric Tveit was opportunistic going around the outside,
Well,
so
Eric,
it's arguable.
Eric was alongside on the whole of that straight, and this is
Oh, no!
Van der Velde
No!
as well.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, with 5 laps to go, his race is over, and this is not good. This
Oh, and
is
it's
not good driving here.
Yeah,
So
it's
has he been
the
tapped
same drivers again.
He's been tapped by Jimmy Hughes going under braking, and he's straight into the wall. What a heavy impact! As I said, there's just going to be so many harsh words after this race.
Yeah, definitely. Everything's kicking off here. We've got fireworks at the minute, just with only 5 laps to go, similar to what we've seen before. This is what minis are all about. It's the excitement, the drama, and the ups and downs, which we're seeing here at the moment. Just before that incident, actually, I was taking a look at the team standings, and 181 point lead is what THR had over Ice Cold, and they need, after this race, if they have a lead bigger than 174 points, they will take the title home. And Weissmuller is ahead of Ely by a couple of positions, and but the problem is Eric Tveit, yeah, with that flip.
And Kilo's now got into this battle, so all of this fighting is like Kilo into 8th position. You got Stengel, Shepard and Hughes as well. So Hughes, he might have been third at the start of the race, but he's still got a chance of getting there.
Look at this!
3 or 4 wide now.
Yeah, this is proper NASCAR stuff we've got going on here. We've only got 5 wide.
Still there. So this is only going to be a yellow.
Oh,
no! That's Chef Kilo.
Oh my goodness, more drama.
We've got a little lake of cars here. So look at, he's right behind Van der Velde's car.
This is just kicking off at the moment. The same group of cars from that position. It seems to be the 4th to 9th position battle.
So there's contact between Kilo and Shepard under braking, so it's all the incidents have been under braking. He hit it almost exactly the same spot.
Yeah, it's identical to the crash we just saw from the other yellow cars of ADR and Van der Velde.
Whoa! Chris Shepard!
Replay! This is absolutely unbelievable stuff. It's kicking off in the minis.
He just stopped. I wouldn't be. I don't understand. I don't know if he's actually done that because he wanted to, because he felt that he was at fault for the incidents, or for whatever reason
no, I don't think so.
He's out of the race.
That's peculiar. But yeah, absolutely kicking off at the moment. And suddenly,
Andrew Waring's into 7th position.
Ethan Bass is in the top 10 and Ryan
9th,
Walker.
Walker 10th, Mike Bell 11th.
But
Yeah, this is 3 laps to go. We have Mike Bell making a move on the Walker here for top 10 position. About 5 laps to go. These are fighting for 15th position. Now they're fighting for 10th.
Before the bomb countdown ran out, I was about to say that if the results finish as they are, we will be crowning the new team champions THR Red. Well, I say new, not for the first time in TPS. We will see THR Red taking away the team's championship, or THR as a whole anyway. So, but yeah, of course, that bomb seemed to go off.
Ethan Bass is currently in the battle for 3rd position, along with James Johnson, who's come from the back, Andrew Waring, who sort of replaced his teammate Kilo there in that battle, Chris Hughes and Stengler have been there for the whole race, and Jimmy Hughes, who was there at the start, got knocked off and has made his way through up while everyone else has been involved in the incident. This
is crazy stuff. We've just absolutely everything going on. We've got crashes going on in the same corners 2 laps in a row. We've got DNFs unexplained. We've got ice cold cars rolling down the backstretch. So Eric had a bit of a fun ride there, and let's see how that pans out. But that has definitely shot the fox in terms of the team's championship.
Although Eric Twice had a very large flip, that was nothing compared to some of the flips he's had in his past.
Yeah, that's true.
10th now on Walker. Eric Twice 12th in that heavily damaged car. Arnold's up to 13th. Richards 14th. Demolin 15th. Nick Hughes 16th. Nearly 17th. Look at this. And we've still got fighting here between Mervold and Orca-Clint.
This is crazy. Look at all those retirements.
Look at the retirements.
Brent's we've missed going out, so we've got Shepard going out inexplicably, Keelov crashing, Van der Velde crashing.
I believe Brent had something to do with the incident with Shepard, as they both retired at the same time.
It's interesting.
Oh, Toby Davis! What's happened here?
He's got past Visa Miller, it looks like.
Where's...
That's interesting. Was it a mistake from Visa Miller, or maybe saving his tyres, or I'm not quite sure.
I can't get this on replay. We'll probably have to find out after the event. Toby Davis has got past Visa in some way or some shape. I did notice that Toby was catching up on Visa though. It was about 1.5 seconds at one point, and he just slowly closed in. I wouldn't be surprised if Visa tyres were affected with heavy battling with Tom Ely. Now, is Toby going to let Visa through, or will he take the glory?
I don't think so.
I believe that he's mentioned that he wanted to win one of the mini races this season, and this is definitely his best shot.
Yeah, there's no reason for Toby Davis not to battle, because they've almost sealed the team's championship, THR Red, and also the 2 drivers fighting for the championship are both THR, so there's no reason Toby Davis should help one more than the other. So I think they've just got to race it out like normal, and that's what we're seeing, and it's good to see. But the man we're seeing at the moment, Andreas Stengel, he's had the most eventful races, one of the most eventful debuts I've ever seen in the TPS. He's been involved in a lot of controversy. You have to say he's driven a good race. He's had good pace to manage to hold on to a 4th position, and if he got a top 5 for Smile in his first ever TPS race, that would be a very good result for him. Of course, these results are provisional.
8th position ahead of James Johnson. He got loose on the curb just like Shepard did earlier, but he saved it.
Don't crash, boys.
Mike Bell's in 10th. Shepard's still fighting with Stengel. What about the top 3 battle? So in the final lap they go, and it's Davis followed by Visa, followed by Ely.
Look at the gap back to Stengel. It's 17 seconds from Ely to Stengel, which shows how massive that battle is. And this is also showing how massive the battle is, because we've got it continuing here. And once again, it's Chris Butcher on Stengel. These two just not getting enough of each other here. They're probably going to be the closest people in the world after this race. They've been together through the entirety. Jimmy Hughes is hanging about there. He's been quiet, but he's had a good run, sitting in 6th position, and of course Ethan Bass in 8th. And actually Mike Bell in 10th. He said before the race he was expecting to be high up. He had good pace in practice, and I said I'll be happy with you if you get a top 10. And it looked unlikely at the start, but now with all this chaos, his ambitions coming true.
We have the battle for the top 3 going into the final 2 sectors, and no, it's now the final. They're just going into the final half a lap. Will Wiesemuller make a last gap move at the final corner of the race? Davis has run wide. This gives Wiesemuller a massive advantage now, going through Big Bend, under that bridge. Now, what can he make of this? Will he be aggressive with Toby Davis, or will he keep it cool and just keep the 2nd place? He doesn't need to try anything risky, and he's not going to. It's going to be a Toby Davis victory if he can just drive it round the corner sensibly, which he does. And that is, it looks like it's going to be a win then. Yep, Wiesemuller's not going to get a sniff dream, so that's a brilliant win there from Toby Davis for THR. Wiesemuller 2nd, And Ely third, just separated by half a second. And
Look
now
at
we got
this!
3 wide. We have Waring, Stengel and Butcher. Who's going to take this 4th position? I think it's going to be Butcher. It's going to be
Stengel.
Butcher, is it? Or is it going to be Stengel? It's going to
It's
be
going to be
Butcher.
both of them.
It's going to be Butcher. I think he took the inside line there through that kink. He might just sneak it.
And he
Yes,
does.
has.
Oh, and Stengel's lost, and there's contact after the line.
Stengel
Stengel's
took 6.
spinning
Sorry,
across the wall.
Andrew Waring got 5th. Hughes down to 7th. Fast 8. James Johnson 9th. Ryan Walker 10th ahead of Mike Bell. So that battle ended with Ryan Walker winning. Spike 12th. Arnold 13th. Richards 14th. Hughes 15th. Demolin 16th. 17th Asians, 18th Lily, 19th Mervold, 20th is not Jonathan Orcoclin, but I saw him limping around with damage, so he's done an incident. 20th is, that's Kevin McDonald, or Xavier Dark, no, it's Kevin McDonald. 21st is Razvan, 22nd Scott Sovic, 23rd is Orcoclin, so I don't know what's happened to Xavier de Carvalho. He seems to be out of the race. Is that him? Yes,
Yeah, it is.
So, okay. And we've
Interesting.
got, so we've got 23 finishers, if you include Jonathan Orcoclin, who's yet to finish. That's 8 retirements.
Yeah,
8.
that was unbelievable race. The Sebring East was more of a war zone than a racing circuit at that moment. And I think I'm going to go to sleep now because that was just drained me completely. That was a stunning race.
I'm going to rest for the next 5 minutes because my throat is about to kill myself. We will be back in a few moments.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And we are back for qualifying 2 and then the race afterwards at this event here at Sebring East for the virtual mini challenge. So that was a very eventful race, a very controversial race as well at times, with a lot of action, a lot of carnage, but a lot of good action to watch, I'd say. So we should be going into qualifying 2 in a few moments. And we have a bit of news regarding the team championship.
Yep, and this is of course provisionally. THR Red are officially, well, I just said, sorry, start again. THR Red are provisionally the team's champions for Virtual Mini Challenge Season 2, so massive congratulations go out to them, Robert Rieser-Miller and Toby Davis and the whole of THR for a great championship effort so far, which of course has not come to an end yet. And as you were saying in that last race, it was definitely controversial, fantastic in many ways, and I think Virtual Minis is all about good racing, and there was some very good racing, but there was also some bad action going on there at the same time, so it was a bit of a mixture, but yeah, I mean, it's still exciting for you guys to watch at home.
Yeah, the battle between the top 3 was extraordinary, and those 3 drivers, Davis, Eady and Wiesemuller, they already respect each other immensely. They are teammates in some leagues as well, and they had one of the best battles I've ever seen in the Virtual Mini Challenge.
Yeah,
however, things further back weren't as clean.
I think the battle
also,
between 4th and 9th, it was so hectic. I think they need to learn from the guys at the front of how to have an incredible clean battle, because that's what we saw with the front 3, and that's why they were first, second and third, because they were having great fun, great battle, but they were also good, fast and competitive drivers and very clean, and that's why we saw the gap increase so much, because there was maybe some more aggressive action going on behind, and that was slowing them down and causing crashes.
Yeah, and we also have a bit of news on the Drivers' Championship. Because of Wiesemuller's 2nd place finish there and Butcher's 4th place finish, it now means that the Drivers' Championship gap between Wiesemuller and Butcher is now 42 points, which means that if Wiesemuller can win this race, along with a pole position, then that means that if Butcher finishes 8th or worse, Wiesemuller's won the championship.
Yeah, I think if Wiesemuller gets pole position, which is quite likely, there will be a 43-point lead, and after this next race there will be 64 points in the championship. So if Wiesemuller gets pole position and scores 21 more points than Chris Butcher in the next race, he will be champion. So if, for example, Wiesemuller finishes first, Chris Butcher needs to finish 13th or worse, and then Wiesemuller is champion. Whereas if Wiesemuller finishes lower than 5th, he has not won the championship.
Yeah, I forgot about the pole positions. John's here calculating the standings. I'm doing the cameras.
Yeah.
So just got a few cars now on track. 2 minutes into this session, so we should have some cars just start finishing their first laps in about 30 seconds. Just watching Ethan Bass, who had a very good race there. He avoided the carnage and had a great result, which is what he needed. I believe he had a similar result last round out at Cascavel. He's had some pretty good races so far this season. He's just been able to keep it there. He hasn't got involved in the incidents near the back, and he hasn't got involved in the incidents near the front, and he's had some very surprising results.
Yeah,
so we got a few times.
Fantastic for Ethan Bass, and also Ryan Walker with a top 10. Shouts go out to him because he had a great race for his first race in Aerostream, and proving that team has got serious talent and serious performance.
Yeah, so you just got some time coming in so far. Chris Shepherd first with a 16.2, although Wiesemuller should improve on that, as should Toby Davis. Just going out through to the back straight onto the, now onto the main straight, sorry.
Yep, let's see what Wiesemuller can do. And he does go fastest, 2.209 faster than Chris Shepherd, so provisionally Robert takes the pole position, but of course we will see a few drivers going quicker than that.
Yeah, we should see quicker lap times now. For those people that are involved in that chaotic battle there from 4th to 8th, all of those people have now got to relax again. Even if they don't think they've done anything wrong, if they've got to relax, get back into their qualifying zone, pick up the pace, and for them, they'll be wanting to try and avoid that. So to do that, they'll probably want to do as good a qualifying performance as they can.
Yeah, I mean, they really do need to just take a breather and make sure they're in the right frame of mind for this race, and hopefully there's no revenge situations happening where drivers feel aggrieved with what happened and are looking for a bit of remorse. But yeah, it was an incredible battle. We saw up to 4 cars going wide, which, okay, maybe it's an exciting battle, but it's a bit stupid, to be honest. You can't go into a corner 4 cars wide and expect to not have contact. So yeah, we've had a few harsh words coming from some of the drivers, so it's going to be interesting to hear the final interviews after this race to see what everyone's opinion of that was. But yeah, definitely exciting anyway.
And talking about 4 wide, this is a very thin circuit. It's not like a very wide Tilka circuit. It's not like it's as wide as Campo Grande, which had very wide areas going into tight braking zones. So people were able to go 4, 5 wide even. But this just isn't possible to happen. So we got a few cars on lap times. Matazeski, Stengel, Butcher. Carvalho goes into 7th. Good for him then.
Yep.
We
A lot of drivers purple.
We still haven't really seen the best from many drivers. Wiesmuller, he might be showing his best now as he's over a 10th and a half up on his personal best in this session.
And Stengel goes forward
pole.
at 15.8.
15.8.
That's an incredible lap
faster
time.
than Wiesmuller's qualifying time from the previous session. And whereas
Yeah.
Wiesmuller on track, he's going through the big bend and he's still up on the time. So if he can get a good final sector, who knows what could happen. Butcher goes 3rd at 16.1. Chris Shepherd also 4th with a 16.1 ahead of Ely, also with a 16.1.
Yeah, incredibly close times as we've been used to seeing, but yeah, great lap from Stengel. It looked like he may have got a slipstream, because that lap's very difficult to do under your own steam, but let's see if Wiesenmüller can do a faster lap under his own steam as he heads towards the finish line now.
He hasn't got a slipstream at all. We don't know if Stengel's got a slipstream, and Wiesenmüller improves to a 59, but just not enough to take pole position.
I think Stengel must have had a slipstream in the last sector, because Wiesenmüller was actually quicker in the first two, and Stengel gained almost a tenth of a second in the final sector, so it looks like the slipstreams really paid dividends for him. I'm not going to say it for definite, because of course I can't confirm that, and that's a bit unfair if it wasn't a slipstream, but yeah, it's generally a great last sector from Stengel. One thing I'd like to mention, I was going to mention this after the last race, the reason we're seeing such a high attrition rate, it's partly due to the nature of the circuit, because with the circuit you've got grass areas on the outside of the track which don't slow the cars down too much, and if in the nature of the braking zones as well, if a car gets into the back of you under these braking zones, which are very difficult to judge right, and it's very inconsistent, if you just tap the back of someone, that car is going to go flying off onto the grass due to the nature of the car. So it's really a combination between track, car and the braking zone, and then the car, of course, if it skates onto the grass, you've got no way of stopping it, and that's why you've seen so many drivers out of this race and in the wall.
Yeah, yeah. So Eric Tveit is currently on a faster lap than his previous best. If he improves by just 100ths of a second, he will be going into 3rd position by a 10th, which he's just done. So he's only improved by half a tenth there actually, and that moves into 3rd. Who else on good laps? Not Shepherd as he pulls off. Tom Ely, no, even though he should have a slipstream actually for his proper lap by a rival team, THR. I believe that's David Junt in the THR blue car.
Let's stay on board with Ely for this lap, I think.
Oh, okay. I was only going to look further back because we have some drivers saying personal best. Van der Velde, 16th, going to look further back. Hilo in 10th, so that's a bit better than his previous qualifying performance. Andrew Waring is in where? Andrew Waring's not even on the timesheets. Andrew Waring's not here. Oh,
is he not even on the server?
No, he isn't, although Vinicius Ferreira is. Vinicius Ferreira is the 31st driver in the server, so he has actually currently replaced Andrew Waring, not in the sense of actually team, but in the sense of actually just amount of drivers in the server. So, Ferreira's racing for the Smart Power Racing team. He's getting a very good slipstream here from Junt. Junt pulls out. Oh, he saw what Ely was doing, although Ely would have got a slight advantage. Even though he's not on a quick lap.
I think he was in a quick lap, but then Junt slamming on the brakes did seem to affect him a little bit. He seemed to have a slight lapse in speed, and they maybe lifted off the accelerator, and that's cost him quite a lot of time. So maybe another attempt for Ely is imminent.
He does need to improve as well, as he's down in 6th, as Shepherd has moved up into 5th. Will anyone beat Stengel's pole time? I don't think so. Wiesenmüller is on track, but not currently improving. Stengel's not on track, and I don't think he will be as well. He's staying in the pits for now. Chris Shepherd's on a good lap. He's going into sector 2 now. Will he still be on a good lap? Let's see. He's got a pretty good slipstream here from Mad Cape Racing driver. Oh, he's lost a couple of tenths, although actually that's still not that bad. That's still not too bad. If he can get a good slipstream, he could improve by a few hundredths of a second.
3rd, possibly.
Yeah, well, yeah, because 2/10 of a second would be about 0.89.
Oh, a bit close for comfort there.
Yeah, he hasn't really got a slipstream up here, which is a bit unfortunate for him.
Let's see what he can do as he crosses the line. Will this be a 16-0?
No.
16.1, so he improves, maybe improved a little bit
Yeah,
in time,
he did.
but not in
He
position.
improved slightly.
Oh, but-
Edie's lost a few tenths in the middle sector, so Stengel had a really good middle sector. And I noticed that Stengel took a very weird racing line in that long left-hander compared to everyone else. He was going a lot more faster on the entrance, and just putting the power down extremely early, and just riding it out and hoping it all goes well. Which it looks like it has, because he's currently on pole position.
Yeah, and we could be looking at Smile Power's first ever Touring Pro Series Division 1 pole position, I believe, and and on a debut event for Andreas Stengel. He may have been involved in a few incidents in the first race, but he's definitely showing his true pace here with the fastest lap of this qualifying session, and he could be looking at pole position in only his second race.
Oh, look at this from
Could be.
THR. I believe Wiesmer's getting a slight slipstream from Toby Davis without being harmed at all.
I think that's
Toby
Butcher,
Davis
actually.
is not. Oh, Wiesmer is not on his personal best, but and this is last lap as well. So I think Stengel's going to get pole unless someone such as Tveit or Butcher can suddenly improve. Stengel's not on track and hasn't been since his 15.8.
Doesn't feel he needs to.
Across the line. Doesn't improve. Butcher
does.
second.
That's interesting for the championship, because he's actually gone quicker than Robert Biesemüller. So let's see where Robert is on track. I don't think Butcher will get another lap in, because the timer had run out. And he doesn't improve.
Sorry, it was I got confused. It was Chris Butcher who had slipstream from Toby Davis.
Yep.
Yeah, Robert's in the white THR car. Even though he's racing with THR red, he's in the THR white car. For this, I believe that's just for this round.
Yeah, a special one-off livery.
Yep. Toby Davis.
I think for the return of Mike Bell.
I believe so. Tom Ely cannot improve. Matuszewski. Ali, I think Matuszewski will improve. He could move up into 7th position ahead of Mike Bell up to 6th. That's what he wanted to do. And he's got the same time as Matuszewski, but Matuszewski is actually behind Mike Bell, as I believe it only goes to 0.004 of a second.
Mike Bell, whenever he gets the top 10, he always seems to be in that 6th position. But he will be smiling from ear to ear at the moment, because he's got 3 of his cars in the top 6. So we actually, in the top 6, we've got 3 Smile cars, 2 THR and 1 Ice Cold, so he will be laughing in his sim racing rig at the moment.
Or at his table.
Yeah, or his desk.
Yeah. Jonathan Walker, Clint, Ethan Bass, Ollie Morris, Merville, David Jones, 17, 18, 19, 20, if they weren't able to do any surprises in quali. Vinicius Ferreira, 31st and last, even though he only just joined the server. And that's it. Should we play a few videos? Actually,
let's just give the...
We can mention the TPS media. So there is the facebook.com/TouringProSeries, which is obviously the TPS's Facebook page. You can catch all the latest news and announcements from the TPS on that page, as well as from the Twitter page, which is twitter.com/touring_pro. And there is the sim racing famous Touring Pro Series YouTube account, which has tons of TPS highlights and broadcasts from the whole of the history of the TPS. And that is at youtube.com/TouringProSeries. There's also a few TPS films, which were made by Danny Asbury, which are a must-see. You have got to see them.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen them, then as soon as this event finishes, you will be watching them. You know, don't care about your friends and family or your pets. You're watching that film.
Danny Asbury does an absolutely stunning job. Yeah, it has to be said, of the TPS films, and really encapsulates what TPS is all about, and all the drama involved in different series, such as the most recent, which is the 2012 Virtual V8 Supercar Championship. And as Bradley says, prioritise #1 in life is watch that video. And I've just had a message from Mike Bell, actually, telling me how happy he is about Smile Power, so let's hope for his sake it lasts, and they can finish with 3 cars in the top 6, which I'm sure they would be absolutely astonished with, but Mike Bell definitely happy with how that's gone.
And another place to find more information about the TPS is the forum. The forum is at InsideSimRacing.tv, and I believe you can go to TouringProSeries.com/forum, which is a quick link there to the Inside Sim Racing TPS forums, where you can find forums on all of the leagues TPS have on offer, including the Virtual Mini Challenge. It is possible to sign up and check detailed league information and rules there, as well as information about some new changes to the TPS, which you can find there. So we just got a few minutes more of warmer. We will also just a reminder about the 2 events that we have on offer next week in the TPS. The first of which being on the 22nd of May, which is Wednesday, at the Polish circuit of Poznan. It's a very technical circuit. It is slow and fast in different sections of the track. Some people love it, others detest it.
Fast on the straight, slow in the corners.
Yes. So you really should check that out. That is 6:45 PM GMT, which is 7:45 PM UK time, and that is 8:45 CET. And just a few days after that, on the 20, what is it? That's the 25th
I'm not
of
sure.
May. On the 25th of May, we have round 5 of the virtual V8 Supercars 2013 season. The first of the 2 North American rounds being at Watkins Glen. And a few weeks after that is a race and circuit at Gilles Villeneuve. So 2 very interesting races for all the drivers. It's the first American event in the V8 Supercars for the TPS. And well, I'm looking forward to it, and I don't even understand what the drivers will be looking forward to it. If I'm looking forward to it, then I think the drivers will be just as much.
I think the Watkins Glen circuit is fantastic for racing. But yeah, you were just mentioning the Tom Onslow Cole Clios as we cut back to the minis. Just like to give a quick shout out to Team Hard and Tom Onslow Cole. They did an absolutely sensational job last time out in the British Touring Car Championship at Thruxton, picking up a 2nd, a 3rd and a 4th in 3 races, so an incredible job by them. And also, if you check out the Facebook page for Touring Pro Series, you will find that Team Hard and Tony Gillam are doing their 2014 Volkswagen Scholarship, which is open to join, so you can enter that and be in with a chance of winning a real-time drive in Volkswagen Cup. So please don't enter, because I'm entering and I want to win. No, I'm joking. But definitely give that a look.
Well, last season of this VW Racing Cup Scholarship competition, 2 TPS racers went in there, and that is Toby Davis and Ben Davis. Those 2 brothers actually raced in the British Supercar Championship, and the first round of that was a few days ago at Castle Combe. They had good races, having top 10s, and actually leading the race 1 at in the early stages. So well done to them, and
Yeah.
good luck to the rest of the season.
Yeah, best of luck to you guys, because doing a great job out there in the real world at the moment, and of course also in TPS. And Toby being the most recent winner, of course, winning the first race here at Sebring.
Yes, he did, and he'll be very ecstatic from that, as that is one of his goals in the season, as he mentioned in an interview at the last round. Luis Fernandez is a driver that we haven't talked about much. He got a stunning pole position and had very good pace at Norris Ring, and then since then he has just struggled. He has struggled heavily.
Yeah, I think we've seen a few
Really?
drivers up there for 1 or 2 races, showing their true potential. But of course, some tracks suits some better than others, and possibly lack of chance to practice with a lot of schools having their exams at the minute and stuff like that. So you got some of the younger drivers maybe with less practice time as he jumps up to 3rd in warm up. But yeah, he's put on a good effort this season, and it's good to see him up there, fighting and getting himself noticed. So well done for a good season so far to Luis Fernandez.
Yeah, I think considering it is his debut, well, considering he's rather new to the TPS, he will be very pleased with his performances. Even though I think he definitely wants to get back in there for either this race or the final round. And here we are going into this second race here at Sebring East.
Yep, so just a quick reminder that Robert Wiesenmuller has a 42-point lead in the championship, not 43 because he didn't get the pole position, so he has 42-point lead in the championship, and if he wants to be crowned champion today, he needs to finish this race with a 64-point lead or a 65-point lead to be confirmed, so we'll keep you up to date on that.
Yeah, he needs to finish at least 6th, and if he does win the race, then it means that Chris Butcher needs to finish at least 8th.
So
Okay.
basically, the only real situation for Robert Wiesenmuller to realistically win the championship is if Butcher retires and Robert gets a top 5. Allow you, Bradley, to take us to the grid this time.
Okay, so on pole position we have Andreas Stengel. He was involved in a lot of incidents last time out. Maybe he can change that with being on pole position. Second position is Chris Butcher, who was that driver he had many incidents with. Both of them fighting for 4th position last time out. Robert Wiesenmuller, second place last time out, 3rd position. Eric Tveit, 4th. Chris Shepherd, 5th. Mike Bell, good performance there in 6th position. Thomas Massey, 7th. Tom Ely, a disappointing 8th. Toby Davis, a disappointing 9th. Andy van der Velde in 10th position. Kevin Brent's 11th in his first mini event. Kilo 12th. De Carvalho 13th. Walker 14th. Fernandez 15th. Van der Venne is in 16th position ahead of Orca Clint. Ethan Bass for SimSpeed Racing. Arlen Rice Mervold in that pink machine. David Junt in 20th. Raiko Arnold, David Junt's teammate right behind him, along with another teammate, James Johnson. Jimmy Hughes for Walk Racing, not as good of a qualifying this time, in 23rd position. Ray Lilly 24th. Lucas de Molin 25th. Kevin McDonald 26th for Mad Cave Racing, ahead of Razvan for 27th. Matt Richards in 28th. Scott Sovic 29th. Nick Hughes is in 30th, and Vinicius Ferreira is in 31st, rounding out the field. And we have no sign of Andrew Waring this race, so yeah, so we just have the cars now lining up on the grid. That was only quite a fast formation lap, I think. Stengel's already lined up, he reverses a bit though. Luckily he's done that before the lights have gone out. Danny Every.
Yeah, Stengel obviously new to the series, so maybe it's going a bit too fast in the formation lap through excitement. Let's see if he jumps the start. Hopefully not, as we get ready. And Smile Power will be leading the field off into turn 1 unless Chris Butcher gets a great start. So let's wait and see as we're about to go racing for race 2, round 5, Sebring East, as the cars at the back of the grid line up in position.
And they are aware, and it's a good start from Butcher. He's going to have the inside for the first heavy braking zone, but Stengel hasn't done a bad start either.
Yeah, I think Stengel's got the advantage at the minute. If he can brake late enough, but Butcher's got a slight overlap, and trust me, there's no love lost between these two. This will be a very, very intriguing race if it stays in similar positions. So all the field streams through turn 1, and it's pretty clean from the looks of things. See the back of the grid. Round coming through the field, so it's Andreas Stengel leading for the first time in his short Touring Pro Series career, ahead of Chris Butcher, a man who has led many times, and Robert Wiesenmuller, of course, leading this championship in 3rd. And Butcher already pressing the back of Andreas Stengel, and we're already seeing a fantastic battle developing in front of our eyes. Eric de Veit in 4th for Ice Cold, and Chris Shepherd in 5th for Smile.
Yeah,
and Mike Bell's
now going down the inside despite. And that is for 4th position. Dwight runs wide, but I believe, has he kept the position? Yes, he has. Yep, still fighting hard. Arlen Rice Mervold up to 15th, so that's good for him. And we have a battle for the lead. Stengel on the inside, Butcher on the outside. Oh, very close there, but there this time.
Butcher's going to have a better exit though.
Oh! Oh, do not do that, GameStop car. Stop it, GameStop car. Stop making me think.
Some more mini two-wheel action. Yeah, more two-wheel action from the minis. And Stengel is leading from Butcher.
Only just though.
And these two are so similarly matched here. It looks like pace-wise in Sebring. They were together in the first race. They're together again in the second race. This time for a much more important position, and hopefully we'll see just as much action, maybe if a bit cleaner than the last one. As Wiesenmuller is pressing the back of Butcher.
Well, when we had Butcher in for an interview at the start of this broadcast, he did say that this is a track easy to have incidents, and that could happen to Wiesenmuller.
As he takes the lead.
And Wiesenmuller follows him. That is exactly what Robert needs to do. He just needs to stay with Butcher, not only for this race, but also for the 2 races next time out. Stengel's going back down the inside. Oh, big contact. And Wiesenmuller's taken Butcher. So Butcher has just been forced from 1st to 4th.
Oh, he's hung out to dry 5th.
Shepherd, Butcher's down to 5th. That is so unlucky there for Chris Butcher. He was 1st and now he's 5th. They're all snaking everywhere.
And there goes Wiesenmuller looking down the outside. De Veit's on the inside line. We've got 5 cars and there's contact somewhere there. It looks like a Smile car was hit, being Chris Shepherd, but it seems they have all got through reasonably cleanly, and that was good defensive driving from Stengel to keep himself in the lead of this race.
This is turning into an absolute corker of a race. Stengel doesn't seem to be as quick race pace wise as Wiesenmuller.
There goes De Veit.
But look at this, now Wiesenmuller's having to fight. Wiesenmuller's having to fight with not just Tommy Lee and Toby Davis, but also about 5 other cars. We have 8 drivers within 1.5 seconds, and I would not be surprised if we have more incidents. Wiesenmuller must be very nervous and shaking in his boots, because he knows that incidents can occur, and Shepherd go down the inside, and Shepherd's going to take 3rd from a fight there.
Aggressive move by Chris Shepherd.
Yeah, Dwight's been forced out of there, and is he going to keep 4th? No, he's only going to gain the position.
Oh yeah, he's up to third, and that is what we were saying many times already. This broadcast is all about the undercut, and now we're seeing Shepherd back onto Vite again. So it's just proving our point, and now we've got THR car Toby Davis down the inside, and we're going to have more incredible action. The front two are breaking away, Robert Wiesmiller and Stengel, but here is Tveit, and there's more contact between Shepherd and Tveit. Tveit's surely going to go straight on, but he manages somehow to keep it on track. More contact! That's the third bit of contact in one corner, it has to be said, and now Tveit has been hung out to dry, and through goes Toby Davis.
Just half a lap ago, Wiesmiller had been shaking in his boots. Now he's probably loving this already, because Chris Butcher's in that battle, and all he's fighting with is Stengel for that lead. He isn't fighting with a large group of people, and that is exactly what you do not want to be doing. That's a car off. That's Van der Velde off. He's going to drop position. He's dropped from 11th to 13th. He hasn't dropped any more positions.
Yep, so that's a real shame for him because he looked so competitive in race 1, ended up with a DNF, and he usually is behind his brother, relation Davy van der Venne, and to be ahead of him in pace but not manage to get the results must be frustrating for him.
Yep, so we have Toby Davis, Chris Butcher, Chris Shepherd, all fighting here for third position. No surprise moves, so everyone with a similar racing line there, although Chris Shepherd gets a poor exit. Toby Davis rampaging here as a Small Power Racing driver. Currently, Small Power have 2 cars on the podium.
Yeah, that's incredible. And yeah, I just want to apologise. I have no idea what I was going on about with Van der Venne and Van der Velde. They seem like brothers because they're always racing together, and they've got such similar names, as to be said. So apologies for that. But back down the inside. Oh no! Carnage!
Butcher off!
The Butcher is Butcher!
That could be the end of his championship.
Right, so now the calculations really begin, and my head's going to be rattling because Butcher is down in 12th position. If he finished in 12th position...
Tom Ely! Tom Ely's made contact with him. Tom Ely also got loose in the contact. And he's down in 13th position with 2 ADR cars ahead of him. And look at this train. It's not just third to 8, it's third to about 27. I mean...
If Butcher finishes 13th, he will score 8 points, which would put him, let me just work this out, 34 points behind Wiesmiller, and if Wiesmiller won, that means Butcher would be 4 points too far behind. So sorry, that sounded a bit confusing, but basically, if it finishes like it is, Robert Wiesmiller will be crowned champion mathematically 1 point enough for him. It will be down to that 1 point.
As we saw though in the last round, one incident does not mean that your race is completely over.
Definitely.
We saw drivers come from about 15th to suddenly be fighting for a podium. We saw drivers getting knocked out of the massive group and then going straight back in it just a few moments later.
Butcher's still technically fighting for third, down in 13th at the minute with the trains we've got.
Technically, everyone on the grid is fighting for third.
Yeah, it's a repeat of the last race. You've got a breakaway. Last time it was 3, this time it's 2. You've got that breakaway group, and the rest of the field is just so, closely strung, and you're just seeing absolutely incredible racing. This time Stengel has made that jump from the second group to the lead group, and he's winning this race.
Yeah, there's a slight gap here between 16th and 17th. So this is where this group ends. This is where this massive train ends. Oh, and that's Mike Bell leading sort of a slight train as well. Oh, we got a few cars out as well. That's Ferreira and Johnson, and Kino's been disqualified for some reason. I don't understand why. That's the end of his race there. So Ferreira, his race only ended a couple of laps. And this is a massive, it seems to be a bit of a gap now between 7th and 8th. So there's sort of now 3 different trains, the 3rd to 7th, 8th to 16th, and then 17th onwards.
Yep, and Mike Bell doing a great job holding off 8th, and he'll be happy that his teammate is out there at the front at the moment, and they've got 2 Smile cars in the top 4, and he's doing a good job holding on to 8th position, and he will be absolutely delighted with how this one's going. Ryan Walker once again in a great position in 10th. So yeah, just a fantastic race developing in front of our eyes here. You've got Chris Butcher needing to fight his way back to keep this championship alive, so let's see if he can do that.
Yeah, so currently Chris Butcher's down to 14th. Down to 14th.
Oh, he's 15th.
Lost ground. He's 15th. This is just going absolutely terribly. How has he lost this time? He's lost position to Carvalho and I believe Mervold. Yes, so Mervold goes down the inside and Xavier Carvalho follows him.
So at the moment, Wiesmiller is in a safe second position, and he's got 42-point lead at the moment. And after this race, there will only be 64 points available, so he needs to score 22 more points than Chris Butcher in this race. And at the moment, it looks like that's still a possibility.
No, half an hour ago, I would have said no, it'll go to the final round, and then that incident with Tom Ely has just completely mixed it up. and has left. Chris Butcher with a large tap to do.
Oh!
That's wait, was that Butcher who tapped Carvalho?
I'm not sure. He might be losing his cool a little bit here, but I'm not quite sure who that was. It was Butcher. He seems to have a later. Of course, being at the top of the grid more often, he's maybe got a slightly better braking point there, and he just seems to have broke where he normally does, and maybe that's different to where De Carvalho breaks, and he's hit the back of him.
Yeah, just looking further back, it's a bit more spread out further back. Still got Spalti, Nick Hughes, and Lucas de Molin. Still no more retirement from the ones we've already mentioned. So let's just go back up front, and Wiesebel and Wiesebel is catching up on Stengel as he does 15.8, obviously with slipstream as he has been behind Stengel. Toby Davis in third, Chris Shepard fourth, Ely and Spider in fifth and sixth, ahead of Kevin Brent, and that's all for the end of that train. Mike Bell defending for his life against Ryan Walker, who's had a really good start to this race, ahead of Thomas Matuszewski, who's been off the track a few times, and then the two ADR drivers. Mervold is in 13th, and this is crucial for Butcher, because there's only a gap between here and the group ahead, and Carvalho's tapped Butcher.
Oh
It's
no!
the other way round.
Butcher's off!
It's the other way round this time. Butcher's now down to 16th, so that might even because 17th as Lou Fernandez goes down the inside. Yes, he does. Butcher can't keep it around the outside. He's going to lose even more. Jimmy Hughes, David Junt.
Yeah, this is crazy for Butcher, and if the race finished on this very lap, Robert Wiesenmuller would be a new champion.
Well, you say that things can go from bad to worse, but this is go from bad to worse to a complete monstrosity for Chris Butcher. He needs to be about 10th. He needs to be about 10th or 11th, I believe. And that increases even further if Wiesenmuller wins the race.
Yeah, he can't complain too much about De Carvalho hitting the back of him, as he did the same to De Carvalho. None intentional, I'm sure, but Butcher shouldn't be too aggrieved at that. But he is sitting at the moment outside the position he needs to be if Wiesenmuller finishes second. And if Wiesenmuller finishes first, Chris Butcher is going to need to score 10 points, which means he's going to need to finish 12th or 11th in this race, or better, of course.
Yeah, and currently he's 17th.
Well, he's got a lot of work to do, does Chris Butcher.
We haven't seen much fighting anymore in this top group. Since there's been the incident between Tom Ely and Chris Butcher, it's settled down. So that obviously means that Chris Butcher's the ringleader. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, of course we should mention every single result here is provisional, but Robert Wiesenmuller has been so clean, I doubt he'll be receiving any penalties for sure.
So we have Wiesenmuller just a few tenths behind Stengel. He's closed in bit by bit, but he doesn't really need to fight Stengel. A second place is okay for him. And even if he doesn't win the championship now, he'll have so much of a gap going into the final round. He could probably have 2 DNFs and he'll still end up finishing the race, because I doubt that Chris Butcher will probably end up having to win both of the races. Further back, and Ryan Walker's down to 10th behind Matuszewski. Matuszewski making his way through the field. He might also make his way up to 8th ahead of Mike Bell. Let's see how this changes.
Yep. I think the position we're in at the moment, Chris Butcher needs, if Wiesenmuller finishes second, Butcher needs to finish P15. If Wiesenmuller wins this race, Butcher needs to finish P11. So that's the big difference for him. And it's Robert Wiesenmuller is now only 1/10 of a second behind Stengel, so he's obviously having a really good go at him, as you can see now. As we look at Robert Wiesenmuller, he gets really close. There's a slight tap between him and Stengel, but Stengel holds on to the lead. So Butcher does the right thing there, not gaining advantage, and is really close out front. So this position for the lead could be vital in terms of the championship being confirmed today.
Well, it's very vital. It's going to be very close about if Chris Butcher, not only if he can get his position, but also there's extra 3 points that Wiesenmuller could get.
Yep, and we've already seen Wiesenmuller still needs to be careful, because we've seen in the last race that Stengel's not afraid of a good fight, and he will be pushing no matter where the championship sits. He wants to win this race, so he will be defending hard and he will be racing hard, and that's fair enough. As long as there's no malicious stuff in there, then that's absolutely fine, and Robert Wiesenmuller just has to deal with that, which I think he's more than capable of doing. As Butcher moves up to 16th, there's a bit of contact.
15th, actually.
2 cars.
Bit of contact with Ethan Bass, but he has moved his way up to 15th, and he's going to keep in 15th. So he's now going to catch up to Carvalho, who he's had 2 sets of contact with, and then he's got Van der Venne, Mervold, Van der Velde, this massive group. And this will probably be the group that he'll be fighting with at the end of the race, which is around the positions he's got to finish in. And
yeah.
Mike Bell is now defending brake position. Matuszewski going on to the inside now for the next braking zone. And is he going to make the move? Yes, he is. No! no, he isn't. Maybell very defensive around the outside. He runs a bit too wide though, and that is it. Now done.
A little bit of contact between Matazowski and Bell in the entrance, but nothing too bad there. Matazowski holds on to that position and follows his teammate Kevin Brent into 8th position, as Brent is in 7th, of course, but quite a long way ahead of Matazowski. But back towards the front, this battle still rages on. Andreas Stengel ahead of the cautious Robert Wiesenmuller. If he finishes, if the results finished as they were right now, it would pretty much be 64 points to go in this championship, and there would be 64 points between them, of course, provisionally. So this is really close stuff, and so let's just see if Robert Wiesenmuller can make that move. I don't think Butcher's going to drop back too much further down unless a mistake.
Also, Toby Davis has dropped down into the target of Chris Shepherd. So this is a battle for 3rd, so it still could be a double podium for Chris Shepherd, for Smart Fire Racing. That's a very good performance there. Tommy Lee and Eric Tveit, teammates 5th and 6th, Brent 7th, Matazowski 8th, and we got still this massive long train of cars which Chris Butcher has caught up to. You see him in the background there. He's got away from Ethan Bass and that group behind him, and he look at the amount of cars there that he's now got to fight with in the second half of this race. What position he's got to get in currently if Wiesenmuller's second again?
If Wiesenmuller's second, Butcher needs to, if he finishes where he is, it's going to be very close. I think to be safe, he needs to get that one extra position because, of course, there could be penalties, there could be, it could end up coming down to race wins if of course, the incredible thing happens and Wiesenmuller gets 2 DNFs. So basically, Wiesenmuller right now is sitting in an incredibly good position, but it won't be mathematically confirmed if Butcher can get into that 14th position.
Yeah, and I'd just like to add that both anything we announced today regarding standings will be provisional, as there may be penalties after the race. So the team championship victory for THR is provisional, and it will be provisional until after the final race penalties have been finalised. On him rise Mervold up to 10th. How has that happened? What a performance there from Pinky. Ryan Walker down to 11th with Van der Velde and Van der Ven 12th and 13th. Butcher looking for a move on Carvalho 14th. Maybe a bit of bad blood between the two after previous incidences. And, well, that was a move and a half.
Great move.
That was a brilliant move. So Chris Butcher now in 14th. So currently his championship seems to be just still. He still has a very tiny grasp of it. It's almost like Wiesenmuller. Wiesenmuller's hooking it, but Chris Butcher's still being able to poke it.
Yeah, Wiesenmuller is knocking Chris Butcher off the rope, but Butcher's hanging on with his fingernail of his pinky. That's how close it is right now for Chris Butcher. If he finishes where he is, he's going to need to win both races at Mid-Ohio, and he's going to need 2 DNFs from Wiesenmuller, and even then, it might possibly come down to who's won more races. So that would, of course, be Butcher. So basically, Wiesenmuller's got the lead, though. That's more importantly, Wiesenmuller's taking the lead. And now the magic number for Chris Butcher is 12. If he can get into that 12th position.
No, we have no replay of it, but I'm guessing he's just break later than Stengel or got the move going into the hairpin done. Sorry for missing that, but yeah, so now that leaves a much tougher task for Chris Butcher. That's 3 extra points that Wiesenmuller has, and that's an extra position that Butcher needs.
Yep, he was actually up to 13th temporarily, but he's been retaken by David van der Ven. And if Butcher can finish P12, he will be back with that fingernail holding on to the rope. But it's looking, he's got 1.5 seconds behind Van der Velde, and he's also got oh no, he is actually past Van der Ven now.
Well, what I think Wiesenmuller's done is he's heard that Chris Butcher's got into that position, and then he's made his move on Stengel. He's been very patient and only made the move when he needed to.
So can Chris Butcher make up that time and make up one or two positions to keep it alive? That's all up for grabs. And as always, it always comes down to these mathematical possibilities. No matter how hard, no matter how hard it is to be like this, it always comes down to it.
Wiesenmuller heavily defending on the inside to go to the head.
Oh no!
Stengel loses control. He's made the move. No, he hasn't. He's wide. He has to take the runoff area, and that is now, I'd say, guaranteed. Wiesenmuller the win, but no, Stengel's not that far behind. Yeah, he didn't lose too much time. He sort of went so fast into the corner that he was able not to lose that much time. He only lost about 2/10 in that incident.
Yeah, he carried the speed onto the runoff area, it looked like, and he's only lost 2/10, so that's fair enough because he hasn't gained an advantage from it. So Stengel retakes his second position, and Wiesenmuller, as long as he can hold on, is sitting in a good position at the moment. Let's just wait and see the progress of Chris Butcher, because those are the two men we of course have to focus on. But looking at some of the other drivers, you've got Toby Davis closing that gap to the front two and third, but I'm sure he won't do anything to hurt Vismu's chances. Chris Shepherd did a great job for fourth for Smile Power, so two of those cars in the top four. Tommy Lee fifth for Ice Cold, and Eric DeVite, his teammate, sixth. Kevin Brent seventh for THR Orange, it looks like.
That's pretty good there from Brent. It's his first mini event, and get a top 10 is very good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mike Bell in ninth for Smile, so that's three Smile cars in the top 10. He will, as I was saying earlier, he'll still be smiling. And Ole Maris Muirvold has done a great job, or Pinky, as you like to call him, is in the top 10, so that's stunning from him. And Ryan Walker looking for his second top 10 in a row to keep up that 100% record for Airstream.
Yeah, well, the last few rounds it's been Ben Richards and Matt Richards, although Ben hasn't made all the rounds and neither has Matt, but Ryan Walker is doing a great job for the team since his addition. And, well, yeah, I think Matt and Ben will be very pleased with his performances so far. Ryan has actually been through quite a lot of teams in his TPS career, anything from Core Racing, Optimum, Airstream. He's been in a lot of teams in the last year or so. I don't know if he'll end up finding his place. Oh.
And he's trying to make a move on Muirvold, who's defending hard, and Muirvold holds that inside line and he goes for the cutback, and all this is helping Chris Butcher, and already he's made up that time just in that one corner, and he just needs to gain one or two positions in this battle and he will keep the championship alive down to mid-Ohio. And then of course, he's not the right word to use, hoping, but...
So Ryan Walker just lost two positions there in a couple of corners, just shows you what can happen.
Yep, and Butcher's around the outside, and he makes the move stick. So even if Wiesenmuller wins now, Butcher holds on to this position, he will keep it alive.
We got some, this is very close now between Muirvold, Butcher, Walker and Van der Velde. Butcher's got a really good run out of the corner. He took a much wider line. He's going to go down the inside of Van der Velde before he even gets close to the braking zone. Can he even get past Muirvold? I think he will. He might even get into 10th position, but he's being very aggressive. There's a very close battle. They're almost 3 wide there behind. We got Walker now down the inside. Contact, a bit of contact. Butcher around the outside. Can he keep it? No, he can't. Muirvold keeping 10th position. Wiesenmuller is still very close to Stengel though. Toby Davis still very close with Shepherd. And also Tveit very close with Ely, but no real battling there happening with Ely and Tveit. So we have 6 laps to go. Chris Butcher is, well, he was off. Big contact with, who's off?
11th. It wasn't Chris Butcher, I don't think. Sorry for scaring you.
Oh, whoa, that's Ryan Walker.
Oh no.
Ryan Walker, and I think it's that Van der Venne. I can't tell which one it is. Sorry, but big contact between those two. He flies across the front. He flies across the front of Muirvold into the wall, and somehow Jonathan Aukercliffe has also gone wide or been pushed off the track. That's a disappointing end to what was an absolutely superb racer from Ryan Walker. We've also got Scott Sobek out after an accident, so both of them out of the same reason. And Stengel using a lot of track there, and he's only a few tenths behind. Chris Butcher in 11th, Muirvold 10th, and that has allowed Ethan Bass into 13th. Muirvold though, I think he might need some new underwear after that.
Yeah.
having Ryan Walker just fly across the front of his car would not have been a pretty sight for him.
Oh yeah, definitely not. It would have.
Oh,
yeah, it made,
Toby
as
Davis
you're saying,
has been hounded by Shepherd. This is for a podium position. He leaves just enough room now going into the inside for the second major braking zone. Shepherd makes the inside.
Is there going to be a cutback though? There is going to be a cutback, as we've seen. I think he's got alongside him, I think, and this is what racing's all about. It's clean, it's exciting, and there's no drivers are being hugely disadvantaged. This is a fantastic showcase of how to battle with two cars, and it's Smile versus THR, and down the inside goes Chris Shepherd, and once again the position swapped for the third time in 3 corners.
I think that contact has really helped Shepherd, because it meant that Davis lost the momentum he was trying to gain. He's still got a good slipstream though, and I'm thinking he'll go to the outside. Yes, he will. Shepherd will not be letting Davis there on the inside in millions of years. It just makes it too easy for him. We have seen some moves on the outside here before, but the most common move is the undercut, which is what he is trying to do. And look at Ely as well, so Ely might even get a podium out of this.
Yeah, and it looks like Davis has actually got the advantage right now, so we're just seeing the positions swap and swap and swap. You can't seem to make one move stick here at Sebring. and that's something we've seen throughout the 2 races, and Davis does have the position. He's down the inside. Will Shepherd go aggressive on the outside? No, he doesn't, and he's allowed space for Tom Ely, and now Ely's going to have the position. So Ely makes his way up to 4th, and he's going to now attack Toby Davis for 3rd. He runs a bit wide. I think he's going to lose a bit of time there, and now he's got Shepherd to think about. Will Ely go for a move? No, he doesn't. He slots in to the 4th position. So nice driving from Tom Ely.
That's calmed down. Just some further news. Chris Butcher's now in 10th ahead of Mervold. Junt is in 16th. Van der Venne is now behind Bass, so Bass is up to 12th. Mike Bell is on his own, even though he is a bit behind Matuszewski. Actually, he's now ahead of Matuszewski, but I think he's braked too late. Yes, he has. He's run wide. Thomas takes the position back, going into the this right hand now.
Yep, great racing we're seeing so far here today, and Mike Bell picks up that 8th position, and Matuszewski's going to have another run at him, and as we were saying, you just can't make the move stick first time. Matuszewski's going to be just going to cut back into the slipstream now. He's going to try and make his move to the inside, but Mike Bell definitely knows how to defend, as I'm sure we've all experienced. He's a very good defensive driver, but Matuszewski brakes really late, and he's going to go around the outside, but surely Mike Bell's going to have a better exit.
No,
he doesn't.
No.
So Matuszewski's made the move stick.
He slowed down too much. He lost so much momentum in the middle of the corner, and ended up actually just could have been curved too much. Tom Ely going down the inside for 3rd position. No, but now this gives Chris Shepherd an opportunity.
Tveit will just be sitting there.
Battle between Stengel and Wieselmann is now just 2/10 of a second. This is a great performance here from Andreas. Proves some critics wrong.
Chris Butcher's actually broken away from the pack behind him, and he's got a long gap to the pack ahead of him.
Yeah, he's not going to gain much else unless there's some sort of contact either in this group or that Bell-Matuszewski battle.
So it's looking pretty set at the moment. Wiesenmüller, if he can hold on to that lead, which is definitely not confirmed because Stengel's pushing incredibly hard.
Van der Venne's out the race.
Yeah, I think it was him that made contact with Brian Walker, so he may have picked up some damage from that.
Yeah, it was quite a heavy hit for both of them.
Shepherd
a bit more heavy for Walker, and we have Ely and Tveit both making moves on THR
Ely's
and
gonna
racing
straight
cars,
on.
and well, that's Ely out of it.
Yep, but he's going to rejoin, and he's not going to lose too much time, so he will just pick up the 4th position in that pack and do what Eric Tveit was doing for the last couple of laps, which is sitting and waiting for a mistake from the guys in front. But now Tveit finds himself in 5th position, and he is aiming to stop Chris Shepherd picking up 4th, and Tveit will be wanting that position more than anything. Speaking of wanting positions more than anything, Stengel really does want to win this race. It's his first event in TouringProSeries, and if he managed to win this race, that would be an incredible achievement on your debut event. Okay, he may have had slight problems in race 1 with a bit of contact and a bit of controversy, but he's really shown that he can race properly in race 2 here, and he's put in a great performance. He's not done anything untoward from what I've seen so far. He's driven very fast, very consistent, and he's had a great race, and he will be delighted if he can pick up a top 2 result.
Mervold is now down to 12th position behind Van der Velde. De Carvalho is being hounded by Hughes for 13th. Hughes going down the inside. I don't think he's got much of an overlap. Oh, he has as well. Junt in 15th, headed teammate Arnold. Urquhart 17th, Fernandez 18th, so he dropped back. Razvan 19th, Nick Hughes in the final point position, but he's fighting with that with Demolin. Matt Richards is... What's happened with Richards?
Oh, him and Lily.
I think
maybe waiting for Lily?
He might have had it. I think he's letting Lily pass. Well, I don't know what's happened there, but I think that might only be letting him pass. Either way,
Richards run out of fuel, maybe.
Even Bass is out.
That's a shame.
He was
even Bass
a
was
really
having
good
a
race.
good event.
He was in that massive battle that we saw about 11th position there with Van der Velde and Mervold. Either way, Stengel has not made any progress on that battle with Wieselmann. Davis is half a second ahead of Shepherd.
And Butcher is in a very safe 10th position at the moment, no better and no worse. And if he finishes there, he will score 11 points, which means the gap between himself and Robert Wieselmüller will be 61 points, going into, provisionally of course, without any penalties, going into Mid-Ohio with only 64 up for grabs, so it would need a miracle.
Well, miracles can happen, however I would be very surprised. However, I was surprised if the championship would even be close to being completed after this event.
Well, the
that
fact that
one.
Strand hasn't made this event due to internet issues. We've had Tom Reilly's had an event where he's led both races and ended up with 0 points. It's definitely possible for a driver to have one of these nightmare weekends, or events, should I say, some of the drivers have experienced this time. And if Wiesenmuller had that, Chris Butcher would need to be right on the pace. He'd need to be winning both races, and he'd need to try and grab those pole positions.
We have one more lap. Stengel, Wiesenmuller. Who will prevail? Well, currently it's looking like Wiesenmuller will, but anything can happen in these minis, and especially at this track where we've seen a lot of action happen, especially near the end of races. Still got baseless battle happening for third as well, but we gotta watch this battle for the lead. Oh, Stengel's run wide. He's gonna lose time. He lost a bit of momentum. It shouldn't affect him too much though, as there's another corner.
Yep, Stengel of course got not much to lose in this event. Robert Wiesenmuller's got everything to lose, so maybe Wiesenmuller may be a bit cautious. Stengel might just go for a move, so we definitely need to focus on this one because the race has not been won yet. And Stengel's got a great run down the straight. He's going to be right in the slipstream of Wiesenmuller, and Andreas Stengel, he's got one chance to take a win in his only his second race in the Touring Pro Series, and for Smile...
I think he should go for a better X out the corner. He can't brake. If he brakes too late and makes a move into the hairpin, he'll end up just losing momentum. He's going to go for the good... No!
But he's still got a chance. But no, I think Wiesenmuller's held on.
He should have braked earlier and then gone for a move at the end. So that's going to be Wiesenmuller who will win. Yes, he will. A great performance there. A double win for Wiesenmuller. So noticed, sorry.
Double win for THR.
Toby Davis third, Shepard fourth, Twite fifth, Ely sixth, Kevin Brent's good performance in seventh. Mike Bell is going to take 8th over Matuszewski. Oh, and this is Chris Butcher's in 10th. What's happening here with Mervold and Van der Velde?
Van der Velde, yeah.
Well,
something's happened there.
off for some reason.
But Chris Butcher picks up the 10th position.
Looks like constant under braking, and Van der Velde's gone off the track. Hughes in 13th. De Carvalho in 15th. Arnold in 16th. So David Junt gained a position there very late on. Fernandez 17th. Orca-Clint is in 18th. Right there. Razvan 19th. De Molin takes that final position ahead of Nick Hughes. That's in the point position. Kevin McDonald 22nd. Matt Richards 23rd. Lilly 24th. And that's it, I believe, for our finishers.
Yep. What a couple of races we've had here today. And Chris Butcher does keep alive that championship hope, although very slim. He's got 61 points to gain on Wiesenmuller with 64 available, so it's very unlikely.
Yeah, so wait, does that mean that if Wiesenmuller gets a pole position, then that's it?
Almost. I think.
No, yeah, but then that's one of the points that Butcher can't get.
Yep, it's definitely one of the, it's going to be very, it's going to, I think if Wiesenmuller gets 2 pole positions, but then of course we're just looking too much into it, I think. And
I believe if Wiesenmuller gets 1 pole position in the next round, then that means that Butcher's lost out one of his points, and that means that it'll sort of be 61-60 the other way around. So
I think Wiesenmuller just needs to finish a race and he's won the championship.
We could be announcing a champion after a qualifying session in 2 weeks' time.
Or if any penalties apply for Chris Butcher, which we have no idea about. We're not saying he's been involved in anything, but of course in that fantastic battle at the first race, or the very exciting battle, you never know what could have happened.
Yeah, well, we will let you know on any developments in the championship battle in 2 weeks' time, and we will be back in a few moments for interviews with some of the drivers. Hello and welcome back for interviews with some of the drivers after what was some action-packed racing here at the round 5 at Sebring East. So, John, what drivers have you got for some interviews today?
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to talk to our second race winner and championship leader, Robert Wiesemüller. So, Robert, of course, you didn't manage to pick up that win in race 1, but you did manage it in race 2, and now the championship seems almost 100%, yours. Just tell us how your event went.
Yeah, this was really exhausting. I had good pace all the time. Yeah, and there were great battles actually in both races, so it was fun.
So obviously now you've got that, you just need those 1 or 2 points in the next round to confirm the championship, and that's only provisionally, of course, without including penalties. But yeah, just talk us through how your season's gone. What's your mentality been, and how you feel with almost confirming the championship.
Well, the season was pretty much perfect. So I was on the podium on every race except one, and I practiced really hard for the season, done a lot of laps. Sometimes I was also lucky when, for example, when Tom Ely disconnected in the lead, or when Chris had the monitor problem at the last event. But still, yeah, I was also pretty good this season, pretty fast. Never been so fast before.
Yeah, of course, you've had a fantastic season, so well done there, Robert. Well done for every race so far this season. You've done a great job and looking like winning your first championship. We're now going to speak to the only man who is possible to stop Robert taking the championship, which is, of course, Chris Butcher. Now, Chris, we spoke to you before the race, and you said you'd be happy with a couple of top fives, and things, maybe there was some highs and definitely some lows there in those 2 races. So just talk us through your event.
Seemed like I had targets painted all over my car, to be honest with you. Dengel apparently doesn't know where track boundaries are, turns across you in the braking zones, and that ultimately means you can't make a pass, and then you get overtaken by other people because you get slowed down by it. And well, eventually I managed to get past him on the final lap, but it had cost me 15 seconds to lead group, and I think I could have been with him at the end. But race 2 was a bit different because I don't know what happened with Tom Ely, but he seemed to brake way too late, and I got smashed off the track and ended up in the middle of the pack. And then it was just a case of people driving with their pants, and yeah, not very sensible. So now it's going to be really difficult with 61 points behind, with 62 points available. It's not very likely, is it? And I think I'm probably going to get a points penalty in that race as well. So I think Robert's already done it.
Yep, of course we can't confirm anything yet for you, but yeah, it does look like a possibility. So of course, Chris, going into that last race, you've got nothing now to lose. Do you reckon there's a possibility if you manage to practice a lot for Mid-Ohio? Are you good at Mid-Ohio, and do you think you can take a double win?
Got a double win last season out, and I really enjoy driving the track, so that's going to be my target for the next round, because ultimately Robert's wrapped up the Drivers' Championship, we've got the Teams' Championship sorted out, so yeah, there's nothing to race for now.
Yeah, and of course I should mention, well done THR Red, of course, for confirming that team championship in the first race today in absolutely dominant fashion, so well done to them. Now going to speak to race 1 winner and co-owner of THR, Toby Davis. So, Toby, if you're available, just talk us through your event, because of course you were struggling with these cars early on this season, and you seem to pick up the pace a bit.
Yeah, I figured out how to drive them. I also think people are doing a little bit less practice than they were, which helps. I think if this had been the first round of the season, times would have been perhaps a tenth or so quicker than they were. But yeah, I had 2 good races today, and had a good battle in race 2. And it was nice and clean in race 1 as well, between Tom and RW and myself. So yeah, it's a nice bit of sort of stress relief to come here and have a decent round.
Yep, of course. I'm looking at your team's championship, actually, sitting in 4th at the moment. You've got Ice Cold firmly in your sights. Do you reckon THR Orange will be able to take a 2nd place?
Yeah, that's the goal. We'll try and take THR Orange to 2nd, and I'm also looking at 3rd in the championship now as well. Obviously, with Stran not competing in this round, and Kilo has just signed out of the championship, so I'm pretty confident I can be competing for 3rd in the main championship, which I wouldn't have dreamt of before the season. So those are the 2 goals, and if we meet one or both of them, I need a little bit of help for Tomasz in the final round, but he had the pace here and had a couple of poor qualifying sessions, so it's a shame for him. I know how much work he puts into this, so yeah, but we might be able to come on strong in the final round, and we'll see.
Yeah, so very well done for your race win today, and good luck in the next round.
Thank you very much, John.
And trying to steal a good position in the team championship, and of course the drivers. Unfortunately, we can't speak to second place man in the second race, Andreas Stengel, because unfortunately doesn't have a mic, so is unable to speak to us. But one man I would like to speak to is Chris Shepherd. So Chris, you had an eventful event. It has to be said. You had a problem in the race one after fighting for a good position, and then you had a stronger race two. So just talk us through your event.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a real bad quali, to be honest with you. I was, I think, P11, but I worked my way up in the race, weren't too bad, but then it just started to get really rough. In the end, I just pulled over on the grass and just thought, sod this. But quali 2 was a bit better. I had a nice long battle with Toby. I decided not to attack him too much. I just wanted, because I could see we was catching the leaders, but I just thought to stay behind him, bide your time. And but then I think I went just a little too early. I started to attack about 6 laps, I think, from the end. I should have left it maybe a few more laps. But there you go.
Yeah, so well done, of course, for you, and well done to Smile. Do you think Smile will be able to pick up another strong result at Mid-Ohio? Do you think a podium, or another podium, should I say, is on the cards?
Yeah, of course. I mean, anything less for me than a podium, I'm not too happy with. So that's the target every race for me, if I'm being honest with you.
Great job. Well done for
Excellent.
that today. And I would have liked to speak to Jimmy Hughes, but he is unfortunate. Oh, sorry, we are joined by Jimmy Hughes. I wasn't seeing your name there. So obviously you had a fantastic qualifying session for race one, and a good strong event. So how did that go for you?
Yeah, qualifying went really well. I managed to put in a good lap time. It's probably one of the first times since I've been over at TPS that I've actually managed to hook up a qualifying lap, so that was pretty satisfying. Got away well in race one, managed to get up to P3, and then just got completely taken off the track halfway around the first lap. And then, yeah, that just put me back into the pack, and there was some crazy driving going on around me. I was just trying to keep my nose clean, pick up a few places back to get back at where I should be, but ended up just getting pipped at the end of race one, ended up down in P7, I think. But yeah, on the whole, it was a better event than I have had. I've had a couple of DNFs this season, so hopefully onwards and upwards for the final one.
Yep, so well done to you, and well done to your team Walk Racing for a good event. Just a couple more people I'd like to speak to, if Ryan Walker's available. I noticed that you got a strong top 10 result in the first race, and also it was going well in the second until you had a slight incident. So tell us how your event going, of course, being a new Airstream driver.
Yeah, it went real well tonight. My aim for tonight was just to finish in the top 10 or finish in the points at least, but to get 10th from race one was I'm real happy with, and I had a good race with Mike Belter. We had a couple of moments when I nudged him by accident, what's I apologise for. The race two was going well, but someone behind me just decided not to use the brake pedal and wiped me out, and I just about wiped out a couple of other cars, which was Chris Butcher and Ollie Marius Beervold, I think, so I apologise to them. But that's sim racing, that's the way it goes.
Yep, of course I was going to ask you about that incident in race 2, but you've already told us for us. So very well done to you for a good couple of results, or a good one result, should I say.
Thank you.
And well done for fitting in well to Airstream. Finally, just like a last minute word with the returning Mike Bell, the well anticipated return of Mike Bell for Smile. So Mike, obviously you had a couple of strong races yourself, but also you'll be delighted with how your team performed today.
Yeah, more impressed with how the team got on than my own races. But you know, having a podium is always good, and Chris had a strong result as well in race 2. I somewhat blew my good qualifying for race 2, but I was on the wrong line into turn 1, got shuffled a bit, and then I don't know whether Toby hit Tom or Toby got hit into Tom, but that happened, and Tom was sideways in front of me in turn 3, so I lost even more time there, and then just had to switch mentalities from attacking to defending to try and keep hold of a top 10. Had a good battle with Tomasz Mazewski towards the end of the race though, which I'm glad I came out on top of.
Yeah, and of course, Smile are one of those few teams that are managing to break up into those top positions. You seem to have got some good drivers on board, and you're managing to get 3 cars in the top 6 in qualifying for race 2, I did note. So yeah, well done to yourself. Do you think Smile will be able to maintain their great pace? Are you looking for maybe even championships in the future, TPS?
Championships is probably a bit out of reach, what with THR and Precision, but we're certainly hope that we could be a thorn in their side for the not too distant future.
Yeah, so thank you very much to all our drivers for speaking to us there, and I'll allow Bradley to round it off.
Okay then, so just to keep track on more news and announcements, especially after a race, maybe you want to find out more about the standings, you have multiple websites you can go to. There is facebook.com/TouringProSeries, which is the TPS Facebook page, twitter.com/touring_pro, youtube.com/TouringProSeries, which is where this broadcast will be uploaded to as a replay, and there is also the TPS forum on Inside Sim Racing forums, and there is also the GP Oz where there is all the results, and that is results.touringproseries.com. So it is goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.